What is going on, everyone? Hello, and thank you guys for tuning in to another episode 12 of the Halftime Coach and Adjustment Show. I'm really excited for today's show. I got my brother from another Philly Halftime and our special guest, Earl Cole, with us today. So we're looking forward to a great show. Hope everyone is doing well and excited as well. So we're going to get right into this, but before we do, everyone, as usual, hit that like button on Philly Halftime, Earl Cole's, the Hardcore Sports Network, and my channel, Coach Edd Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. Make sure you hit all those channels. If you're new, subscribe and hit the notifications so you know when we post new content. And everyone, please share on all social media platforms. You do all that. It's free for you guys to do that. It helps us out immensely, but you'll also get access to great content whenever we post anything. And again, like I said, it really helps us out a lot. So, but before I do that, let me check on my brother, Philly Halftime. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. How you
That
doing? How you
I'm
with that?
phenomenal. Thanks for asking. Earl Cole, my brother, how are you today, man?
I'm doing super fantastic. I'm doing well, thank you. And this is an honor for me to be in on your show, you and Philly Halftime. So I greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much for the invite. I great.
Thank you, man. So, I mean, it's an honor having you here with us. So, I know it's going to be a great show. So, let's also tap into the chat. Our executive producer, Mrs. Halftime, she's definitely here as always, and the point guard of the Hardcore Sports Network, Mitch Kosky. Man, thanks for tapping in. Really appreciate you for being here. Make sure you guys, you have anything, hit us in the chat, man. Let us know. Tap in. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it and start out with a little. Oops, where is it? Where is it? Let me get the banner. Sorry, guys. There it is. We're going to do a little Q&A with Earl Cole. So one of the things I just was thinking about before, because I have my list of questions, I wanted to ask you, Earl, because everyone comes up, in the beginning of things, with, how they're going to come out with their name, so on and so forth. Why don't you just go with your name and not come up with like a wrestling style name? Because I know you're really into wrestling.
Yeah, I wanted to, well, I wanted to make sure that everybody remembers my name and they
Hmm.
remember who I am and what they could associate me with. Usually when people hear the word Earl Cole, first of all, when people hear the word Earl Cole, they think I'm a jazz singer. And I'm not a jazz singer. I'm not a jazz singer. I'm not a jazz
Okay.
singer. I do like jazz. I do listen to jazz,
Mhm.
but I'm not a jazz singer. Not by the expressive imagination. I think if I opened my mouth, everybody would leave. Anyway, no. I didn't want to come up with some phony or gimmick name or anything like that. So I just wanted to be me. I wanted to be true to
Mhm.
me. So that's why I stick with the name.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's always good to be authentic. So I get it. So, and that, like you said, you create your stick, and everybody will remember you. So, not a problem at all. So, when did you start YouTubing?
Oh, that was well, I've been on YouTube now 11 years. So
Okay.
11 years ago.
Okay.
I started out with just my little channel. I was a little tadpole on the pond. And I raised my hand. I said, "Yo, I'm over here."
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so I started out little, and then I started to grow, and then I started to grow some more, and then I got more popular, and everything. So
Okay. You got a question halftime to ask them?
Yeah, Earl, I wanted to know. Um, one of our close friends, Jeff, right?
Hmm.
How did you guys meet? I know, rest in peace, Jeff, but how did you guys actually meet? And was it on YouTube or did you guys know each other? YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, okay. Um, Let me just go back to the beginning. I made a phone call. I made a phone call to Mitch, and at the time I didn't join Hardcore Sports. I wasn't a member of anything. I was in a wrestling group on Facebook. I wasn't doing anything. So, um, I made the phone call to Mitch, and I said, I was going through this story, and I didn't know what to do with the story, the wrestling story that broke about Vince McMahon, and I didn't know what to do with it because I didn't have a channel at the time. I didn't have a channel at the time. So I mean, I had my own YouTube channel, but then I was on vacation and I didn't want to go live with it or anything. So I wanted to give it to Mitch. Maybe he could do something with it. And then Mitch offered me to come on board to join the Hardcore Sports. And after that, he asked me to do Monday Night Raw. And from that point on, I did the Raw watch along. And then afterwards, Mitch came to me and he said he wanted to add, people to it. And he asked about Jeffrey. And that is how me and Jeffrey intertwined with each other. He came on Raw and he stayed ever since then. And we were inseparable. And we did Monday Night Raw every Monday night with each other, except when he had football or he had other
Mm-hmm.
content that he had to do. Then I did it myself.
Okay, okay, definitely. Just shout out to Jeff, man. We definitely miss him, man. Was a phenomenal brother. Especially to me. I know exactly what you mean. Especially with you guys doing wrestling. We did football together, so definitely miss him. So now, in terms of wrestling, I mean, you were very passionate, about wrestling. You know, where did that passion come from?
Well, yeah, again, my humble beginnings. My mom took me to my first wrestling match when I was a little kid, and it sort of like was an adrenaline rush. It sort of
Mm-hmm.
like was something like an escape, an outlet. When I was a kid, growing up, I didn't have too many friends and I didn't have too many games to play with when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed an outlet. I needed an outlet. I needed something where I could sit there and watch every day and watch stories unfold. My parents had soap operas. I had wrestling. So I mean, yeah, so that was it. And ever since then I've been hooked on it. I love the intrigue about it. I love the storylines about it. I like the stuff that sparks conversation. I like everything, all the aspects about it.
Okay, okay, that's deep, man. I mean, like their story. You had wrestling, so and we all have to have, like you said, an outlet. And I get it. Growing up, for the most part, it was football for me. So I mean, it was other sports, but it was mainly football. So I get where you're coming from. So, um, but in terms of sports, are you into any other sports that are out there?
Yeah, well, I grew up New York sports.
Hmm.
I was entwined in New York sports, like, the football Giants. I've followed the Giants since 1986.
Okay.
I followed the Mets since 1986.
Hmm.
And I also like the Knicks. I also like the Rangers and everything
Hmm.
that's football. Unfortunately, for my side of the Hudson here, it's stressful. It's stressful. It's
See, listen,
stressful because
good.
we haven't tasted champagne yet. And when is that going to happen? I don't know. In my lifetime, I don't know. Um, Maybe 30 years from now, maybe 40 years from now, I don't know. But every time you turn on the TV, it's a losing season for somebody, and
Yeah.
it's a gut punch. It's
Hopefully it's changing for us. We got the Knicks, so hopefully the Knicks will bring it home, in a sense. So, we'll see. But I get you. I know exactly where you're coming from. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. So, I'm with you there. So, you got something you had to ask them at halftime?
Yeah. We're all old heads here now. Since when you're a kid and you found out, let's say, wrestling was scripted, a lot of people went away from it back in the day. They said, "Oh, it's going to be scripted and all this," and people stopped watching it. How did you stay strong to watching wrestling, even though it was scripted and the steroid use that was happening? Because remember that big ordeal all over the place. How did you stick around as a fan to keep on watching and having that dedication? Because when you're a kid, you were like, a lot of people just went away from it and said, you know what, that's bullshit.
Right, right. That's a great question, halftime, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Everything on TV, everything you see on TV, on reality-based TV, has some kind of script element to it, or another. It has some kind of script element to it. So for me.
Earl, if you tell them my sports are scripted, I'm gonna be highly mad.
No. Don't give me no black eye. Don't give me no black eye. I ain't doing that. No. I'm specifically talking about reality shows. I'm talking about reality shows. There is some script element to it. And for me, yeah, a lot of people used to whisper in my ear and they used to say, "Oh, wrestling's predetermined. Oh, it's fake." Yeah, I understand. I understand complicitly. I'm not saying it's real. Now, the moves that they do in the ring is real. That's real. But the story that they take you on has to be predetermined. So I understand. And it did not deter me from not watching it because I was still intrigued by it. I was still intrigued like what was going to happen next. It's almost like a compelling story. It's almost like a romance novel or a good book that you want to read. You want to know what comes after chapter 5 and chapter 6. Is she going to finally get the heroine? Is she finally going to get to that pay window? And that is something that drawed me into wrestling because I want to know what's going to happen. Is the heel finally going to get his upcomings and get that beat down that he deserves, the villain? And that is something that you want to know. You want to know. So every week you want to watch. So that's what it is for me. It's a desire. It's that passion that you want to get into and you want to entwine in.
That's a great point that you made there, Earl. In terms of um, the correlation to reality TV, or even a movie. I mean, there's some movies, TV shows, old school TV shows. I know what happened, but you know what? I still watch it because I can still get enjoyment out of it. So, we all do. We all find it somewhere along the line. But as far as sports fit at halftime, some are scripted. Some are scripted. In football, think about it. What happens? The first series of plays, aren't they always scripted sometimes?
It seems like they are. I'm going to tell you now. If I find out this shit's fixed, I'm suing everybody.
No, I got you. I'm with you on
I
that
spent
one
too
too.
much damn money on this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I look at wrestling like the men and women. They're stunt guys. Men and women, they're stunt people. They're just stunt people. That's what wrestling is to me. Like
Well,
if you're gonna go through a window, who's gonna go through the window? You know what I mean? In a movie, you see that guy go through the window. That's a wrestler. That is just a stunt guy going through a window. That's why you see wrestlers actually do movies, but they're stunt people to me. But I mean, I didn't know how you felt about it, and I didn't want to say stunt people in front of you because I might not hurt your
well,
feelings.
hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I don't call wrestlers stunt people. I don't call them that halftime. They're called athletes. They're called athletes, and they take the bumps because they go to wrestling school and stuff. And they learn how to sell.
That's what a
It's
stunt
the art
person
of
does, though.
selling.
That's what
Hmm?
a stunt person though does.
No, a stunt person is different halftime. A stunt person in a movie, they replace the original actor in the movie, so that this way you can sell. It's almost like the
Yeah,
art of
but they go to
selling,
that
and that's
school. They go to that school to learn how to take that bump,
right,
to take the fall, 50-foot
right.
drop, or going through a window.
Okay,
You know what I
okay,
mean? That's all
I
I
got
was
it.
trying to really knock wrestlers, but I'm just saying that's why I said it's more like stunt people because
Well,
they're
Yeah,
learning how to
you have to
they
forget the
learn how to
thing.
take a punch. They got
But
to
you
learn how
also
to take
have
a
to
punch.
take a punch. You have to learn how to fall. You have to learn how to fall safely,
right.
both of them. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's where the correlation to stunt actors come in with wrestling. So I get it. I get where both of you guys are going. In terms of
Hmm.
wrestling, you're not replacing the wrestlers with someone else to do the moves. They're doing the
Right,
moves. So
Yes.
right,
most actors. I mean, you do have some actors who do their own stunts. So they've been
Right.
trained in it, but for the most part, everyone else is, I don't want to get hurt and let someone else take the risk. So I get it. I get where you both are coming from. Let me just get a call with the what's up, our cool. Thanks for being here, man. He's like, wait, what's going on? So different aspect today, than what we do. It's
Hey,
inclusive. We're talking with the great Earl Cole, who handles, wrestling for the Hardcore Sports Network. And just like we're passionate about, other sports, he's very passionate about wrestling. He brings a great dynamic to the network and to it, sitting back and watching. Because sometimes I'll put him on and, he's giving you a great breakdown. I don't always want to have to sit and listen to, the commentators because, he gives a better, representation, and it's you can relate more to him than to some of the commentators because they've been in that business, in that industry, and in a sense they're detached from us, where Earl is one of us, and,
right.
and that's the whole thing. So Mike Sports Vibes that Mitch mentioned. Okay, I mean that one's over my head. I'm not even going to touch it. So um the Mike Sports Vibes. So but continuing on with our Q&A. So, did you ever wrestle or anything like that?
No, no. I'll tell you this much. At 21 years old, I did try out for the WWE to be a ring announcer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make it. I didn't make it, but it was an experience for me. It was a great experience. And but no, I never wrestled. I never did. I just sat behind the barricade and taken all the experience, which is why my show is called the Wrestling Experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Ultimately, with your platform, what is your content creation goals?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a fabulous question. I've never been asked that before, by the way. I never asked that. My goal, my whole goal is to bring us a different perspective than everyone else out there that does
Mm-hmm.
wrestling content. um, and bring it on home, and know that I'm one of you guys. I'm a fan just like you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and I read things, I look things up online, and I bring it all home to you in a way where it's entertaining, it's informative, and at the same time it can be funny at times.
Hmm.
So that's what I bring to the table.
Do you ever
Okay.
freak out about a match? I want to know that one. Do you ever yell and
Uh,
freak out about a match when you get if you get upset about a match where you
uh,
freak out?
Yeah, well, like there are times where I'll call a match, and one of my favorite wrestlers is getting destroyed in the match, and I'll be, I want to cuss so bad, but I don't want to just sit there and have a rant or just go off the rails, and then the whole show goes off the rails by me. Everybody's listening to me cussing. But sometimes I have to draw it back sometimes.
Never draw back. Earl, never draw back. If you're going to show emotion, show emotion.
Yeah, that's halftime. He loves that, the emotion, the rants. That's a part of who he is. So, um,
Right.
in terms of your advice to other content creators, I mean, do you have any?
Yeah, well, there's three important things I always tell people. First of all, the most important thing is always be yourself. Don't
Hmm.
don't be something you're not. Don't be something you're not. Don't be something you're not. People will see through it like a curtain.
Hmm.
Don't be something you're not. Another thing too is forget about what people think of you. Forget about that. You're here to bring out the audience. You're here to deliver some kind of information that you're trying to convey across the audience. So forget about what anybody says. If they're being rude or whatever, dismiss them in the chat. Just get rid of them. Let it just fly off. My whole thing is that when people go low, you go high, and that's what
Hmm.
you have to do. That's what you have to do.
It's a great way.
And yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and yeah, and then another thing is another thing too is it's just know your craft and study it and learn it. And even if you got to Google a few things and talk about it and spark a conversation, just do it.
Great points, man. That's some great points and a great advice, for, content creators who are, whether they're experienced or whether they're up, getting into the industry. So, thank you for that. Um,
Earl, did you ever just go to like you know how there's a wrestling where it might be at a fire hall or a um outside arena, like outside they might have it. Have you ever been to those kind? Not just a main, not like a WWF or a WCW, just a small little arena where it's a no-name company. I guess it would be.
Well, well. First of all, WCW is out of business, but anyway, 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 halftime. It's okay, halftime. It's okay. I'll help you. I'll help.
Listen,
I
girl.
know. I know. I'll help you. I'll help
I'm
you. I'll help you
I'm not dead in the grave, yay. I know it's
out.
I'm giving you an
I'm here to help.
example.
I'm here to help. That's what I'm here for.
I
Anyway,
love this.
anyway,
Oh,
yes. I've been to independent shows before. I've been to independent shows before. A long time ago, here in Brooklyn, I went to an independent show once, and it was great. I had a good time. It was fun. It
but
was
do you go to them a lot or no?
No, I don't. I don't go to them a lot. I don't go to them a lot. But I did go to an independent show once, and I even did a TNA show once. So yeah, so yeah, I I can go outside those two, and
TNA. Okay,
yeah.
explain to me what's a TNA show.
Well, total nonstop wrestling.
Oh,
That's what they
okay.
are. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Not that TNA, Coach. I know where you were going with that. I know where you were going.
Yeah.
Sticking on a thing, guys. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm going to that.
Hey, really? It's like you. What is this? Mud wrestling or something?
No, 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 no.
Hello, coach.
Yeah. So, that was a good one. Thanks.
Uh,
So Earl, what athletes would you like to meet in person? Any athletes in wrestling, professional, other professional sports industry? What athletes?
I would love to meet David Wright.
Mm,
I would love to meet David Wright. I would.
former
I
Mets,
would love to.
baseball
Yeah,
player.
I would. I would love to meet David Wright. It's just always a dream of mine to meet David Wright. I have met Keith Hernandez before. I've met Darryl
Hmm.
Strawberry.
Hmm.
I've met Ron Darling. But
Hmm.
David Wright is somebody I would. In football, I would love to. I would love to meet the Giants. I would love to meet one of the Giants, former or past. I would love to
Hmm.
meet
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. What is it about David Wright that intrigues you, that has you wanting to meet him in person?
Because he kind of like has sort of like what my personality is. It's like he's very giving. He's very forthright. He's very analytical. He's very so it's that kind of mind that you would like to meet and talk to.
Okay, okay. Let me get caught up to the chat real quick. Anthony, Coach Philly Earl, what are you guys' thoughts on the passing of Alpha, the other member of the Wilder Mowens, just 2 months after his brother Roman's father passed away? Some you guys have to answer that if you know it, or Earl, you can answer that because I don't know.
Yeah, the Wild Samoans, that was pretty sad
Mm.
that we lost both the Wild Samoans.
Yeah.
I have met the Wild Samoans in an airport in Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so sad that that now that they're both in heaven, and it's a shame because I used to watch them in Madison Square Garden, and they used to be
Mm-hmm.
a force to be reckoned with when they were a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
So
Unfortunately for me, I
yeah.
mean, I'm not into wrestling like I was when I was younger. So you're telling me something new. So
I remember
sorry to hear
watching
that.
them when I was younger too. They
Mm-hmm.
were
Mm-hmm.
a lot. They were one of the. They were a good tag team, and they were a tag team that everybody was scared of.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
before you know when the wrestlers were actually good, not Logan Paul, not Logan Paul, Mitch. He's not good, Mitch. Listen, I don't know why everybody thinks Logan Paul is good. I can't stand the dude. No,
Look,
is Logan
everybody's
Paul
getting.
good? Am I wrong, or is he good?
Um. Okay.
Listen, how you
Here's the
know
thing with
about
little here. Here's the thing with Logan Paul. I
He's not.
respect
Like,
his
what are you
wrestling.
saying? Say he
No,
sucks.
no.
You're on a, you're on a
All
real
right. I'm,
you're on a real good show now. Say he sucks.
I'm gonna plead the fifth and leave it alone. Anyway.
You're not allowed to complete the fifth.
Okay,
Come
so
on, Earl. What do you think about him? Really? It's okay to tell me he sucks.
I I mean, no. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I respect his wrestling. I just don't like the nefarious means he wins a match. That's the only thing.
But
Logan
that's the only
Paul's
way you can win a match,
misses
Earl.
several lawsuits over possible scams. Okay, didn't know that. What's up, Colin? Thanks for tapping in, man. I really appreciate you. So, oh wow. So Logan Paul. That's the push button. So,
Yeah.
who are or do you have a favorite content creator, um, Earl?
Um, do I have a favorite content creator? Uh, well, I've watched a lot of shows over the years. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna say you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
I
you. Appreciate that. What's
don't
up,
know how
Wesley?
it came about.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are good. But we also have some good content creators here at the
Hmm.
Hardcore Sports. We have some good ones. Mitch is another good person. He's a good guy. He's got his content. We have the bloodline effect on the wrestling side. We have
Hmm. Hmm.
we have so many good stuff. I mean, even the football show on Sunday mornings, that's my favorite also. I like when you all answer my questions and you all are so analytical and you go after each other, different teams, and it's fun to see that. It's fun that you all rib on each other and it's like, you don't like this football team, you don't like this one. You call them the cowgirls and everything else, and
No, it's just
I'll
like
sit
that,
there
John
and
Earl. You don't like the guy, call him a name.
Yeah, no, it's just basic trash talking, man. I get it, and
yeah.
that's the beauty of it. So what are your thoughts on our show in terms of? I mean, do you have any suggestion to help improve it? I mean, what?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any. I don't have anything to improve upon. It's just that the thing is that when you work with somebody, you have to have good chemistry. That is so important on camera because if the two of you are like awkward with each other and
Hmm.
you like working for the first time ever and it's like you don't get your point across and you're talking over each, that's not a good show. That to me is a train wreck of a show because it's not going to last. It really is not going to last. So the thing is that I can see the two of you respect one another and you listen to each other's thoughts and you just let halftime go on his little thing, his little rant island, and do his thing, and and vice versa, and you go back and forth, and it's entertaining to me. It's
Hmm.
entertaining to me. Sometimes I'll watch your show like maybe about 2 or 3 times just to get the laugh content out of it or get the analytical content out of it.
Hmm.
As long as you're entertaining
Hmm.
and you bring in the audience, that's what's the most important thing with all our content creators. And I always say that as long as you bring in the information and the analytics, you're my favorite in my heart. So
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. And to all you up and coming content creators, you got that from the legend himself. So there you go. So all right, so we're gonna move on. Q and A is done, and we're gonna move on to your favorite topic, Earl, is wrestling. So, um, who, in terms of wrestling, who's the most impressive wrestler, male or female, you've ever watched perform?
ooh, that's a great question. That's an easy one. That's the Undertaker.
Mm.
The Undertaker. I mean, who in their right mind would not want to see an Undertaker match? Because here's the thing: when that gong goes off and that temperature in the arena goes down to zero and it's cold in there, and he walks, you have no idea what he's gonna do to you. You have no idea what you're in for. You don't know what because he's unpredictable.
Hmm. Hmm.
So to me, the Undertaker just it's something about him. It's his aura. It's just
Hmm.
something that draws you in.
Okay, I mean that's a good one. I mean, when you're watching him, I mean, what type of effect does his wrestling have on you specifically while you're watching it? Does it, get you to want to jump up and go outside and wrestling? Like me as a kid back in the day, used to watch the kung fu clicks every Saturday morning. Then you want to run outside with your friends and jumping and doing the kick. I mean, does he do that, or what is it that what type of effect does he have on you when you're watching him wrestle?
It's just awe-inspiring. because you have a guy that's so tall, and it's like he's got to be at least six something, and he could move like that. It's like I was like, how do you do that every time? How do you do that? How do you move like a gazelle? And how do you move so swiftly in the ring and quick? So yeah.
Good point. Good point. I mean, I remember the first time I saw him, and it was him coming in on in a hurt. I mean, in the coffin. And I'm sitting there like, what the heck is this? As a youngster, I'm like, what the heck is this? What's going on? Did someone die? Because at first you're thinking, did someone die back there, or they, and it's like, and then they open the coffin, and then he sits up, and and then your eyes open. You're like, for the first time, you're like, oh, so I get it. Yeah. And, you talked about the adrenaline rush earlier, and there's a certain level of electricity that runs through your body, so, and then the athletic aspect. Yeah. Climbing over the top rope, even though he's pulling the top rope down a little bit, just a little bit, making sure you don't hit the man regions. We all know about that part, but, still to step over the top rope. I mean, that shows how tall of a person he is. So, and then like you said, I remember him on the ropes, not standing in the corner. But remember, he's holding the person, and then he walks down you look like, and you're like, don't fall off the rope, but you're still intrigued and you're captivated.
Like,
so,
how's he doing it? Yeah.
mm-hmm.
How's he holding that balance as he's almost 300 pounds trying to walk that rope? It takes a little bit of talent. Didn't
Exactly.
Andre the Giant Earl used to do that in the beginning of his career?
He never walked on the ropes. He never walked on the ropes. He would pull the rope down and step over it.
No. When he was younger, Coach, I think he stepped on it. He would always go up top, and he would do some major jumps. Nobody really knew this about Andre the Giant, though. When he was younger.
Giant or Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
No, Andre the Giant.
I don't remember Andre doing that.
And then he went into that growth spurt. But I mean, he was younger. He used to, right?
I don't know.
I don't know if he walked the rope. I know he would jump off the top of the rope. But that was before he was 300 pounds, and then he got way bigger because he'd been in a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm trying to look it up now. So you got me intrigued.
Andre the Giant and Big John Studd was a good match. Didn't you think that was a good one, Earl?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll never forget the time sitting in Madison Square Garden, and they had the $10,000 body slam challenge, and Bobby Heenan was John Studd's manager, and Andre the Giant in the match, he body slammed him, and he won the match, and he took the bag of money, and he started to throw it into the Madison Square Garden audience, tens of thousands of dollars. Of course, we all knew it was fake money; it wasn't real. But I mean, he was taking the thing and he was tossing it in on, and Heenan was just running. It was hysterical. It was so funny. Heenan was trying to clean it up and get it away from the audience and take it out of the hand. It was something. It was something. It was one of those moments you'll never forget.
Yeah, I remember Andre the Giant when he was younger. Yeah, he would jump off the top rope. But that's a nice hat, Earl. Yeah, so I remember that when he was younger. I remember that. Mm-hmm. I remember watching that.
I'm looking at him. He jumped in 1983. He jumped off the top of the steel cage.
Yeah, Andre the Giant did.
Yeah. Well, the top rope. So yeah, you're right. He did. It was 1983.
He used to jump off the top rope when he was younger. But
So yeah,
I don't know if he
80.
walked the rope, but I remember Andre the Giant when he was, but he was only 300. He was only 200 and some odd pounds. He wasn't. He was physique. He wasn't 500 pounds doing it.
No, no, you're right because I'm looking at
Right.
him right now. He wasn't as big as when
No, no,
later
no.
in
He
life.
was
Yeah,
skinny. He was young
Right.
still.
yeah,
He was very athletic. What a lot
yeah.
of people don't know about Andre the Giant is he was very athletic.
So hey, you just learned. You just taught me something. So I don't because this is when I was in high school. So and I don't remember,
Right.
but it's like oh okay, okay.
Yeah, but he was very athletic. I also like Andre the Giant used to do a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I see.
They
And
always just see a 500-pound man and they thought, oh, he can't move and all, but he was actually he would let people do whatever they want and he would
mm-hmm.
he would show them. Like Hulk Hogan really couldn't pick up Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant said, all right, you're gonna pick me up. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
help you. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Right.
like you're not picking up the Big Show. You're not going to pick up Yokozuna. There ain't no
Right.
guy picking that man up.
Mm.
Somebody's
Right.
going to help them pick him up. But, I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but people have to understand that part. Like that other guy's helping them.
Exactly. That's the beauty of wrestling.
But
Sometimes.
that's the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Like Earl said, that's
Exactly.
the dance.
So Earl, there's one thing about you that many people, um, some people may not know, and unless you're a real, true, deep fan, you have a saying or sayings, your Earlisms. So where did that come from? I mean, do you enjoy creating and using them? I mean, do you think of new ones to, always use, or is it just something that happens in the moment?
No, well, when I first started as a content creator like 11 years ago, I tried to be as different as possible from other people. So
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that I created was, well, I said to myself, I said, well, how can I greet the audience in a way where it's unique?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so I went back and forth and I was thinking of names. I'm like hi, welcome to what? Like how am I gonna do this? So I was thinking about Star Trek and Star Wars and everything else and intergalactic and everything. So the first thing that I came up with was Welcome to the Mothership.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I started to work. At first I started to use Welcome to the Mothership, and then it sparked. After that, that sparked other things. Like
Mm-hmm.
I started to create things in my head that would be entertaining for the audience. Like for example, when I'm calling a match, instead of saying, "Oh, he's beating the bricks off of that boy and he's ragtagging that boy," I come up with, "He is beating the stew. He is beating the stew." How did
That's
that
it.
one? So
I was like,
I
I thought you always didn't want to curse. So I'm like, I'd be like cursing if you would have. I would have just beaten this. I would have cursed on that one. I'm like, but you came up beating us too. That was a good one.
Yeah, so I came up with it and I said, yeah, so I said I'm just gonna come up and say he's beating the stew. And then it sparked other things like
Mm-hmm.
there's a beat down in the corner, get him out of the corner, and it was all kinds of things. And then when they did those random nut shots, yeah, this is stew, this is stew. Yeah, there's the still. There's the still.
Yeah.
So, like for example, like when the heel is doing a nut shot or something, like he got hit in the Prince Harry and the boys. I would say that.
Yes. Uh-huh. Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
or he got hit in the Sanjay Dutt. I would say that. Yeah. So it's different things. It's different things that come to my head. All that potpourri of action. I used to say it.
Mhm.
Now I'm saying that. Now it's a new one.
Mhm.
So yeah.
What's up, Charles? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it.
Uh,
Yeah, that stew did look delicious, right?
Mm.
but I like entertaining the audience because they like it. They expect me to do it, and
Mhm.
it's synonymous with what I do. So,
All right. Give us three wrestlers, dead or alive, you would love to sit down and have dinner with.
let's see. One would be Triple H.
Okay, Triple H. Okay.
Mick Foley.
Mm. I remember Mick Foley, yeah.
Yeah, Mick Foley, and
Also known
Jim
as
Ross.
was it Mick Foley also Mankind, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken?
he was Dude Love. He was
Dude
three
Love, yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. And who's the last one? I'm sorry.
and Jim Ross.
Oh,
I
okay.
love
The
to.
announcer,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So those are some great ones. So I definitely can appreciate where you're coming from. Um, in the world of wrestling, you know, the connection that the wrestlers have with the fans is strong. Is strong. So what do you feel is the reason for that strong connection between the wrestlers and the fans?
Well, it's good storytelling, and that's very simple. It's good storytelling. You gotta have yeah.
Listen, don't
You
forget the don't Errol says don't forget the Miz. I mean, Mitch says don't
uh,
forget the Miz, Errol.
leave it alone, Mitch. Leave it alone. Thank you.
Wasn't
Leave it
the Miz
alone.
on MTV? What was that?
Yes, the real world.
Yeah, right.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, I forgot
Yeah,
about that. Yeah.
yeah, and that's where you should have stayed. But anyway,
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Earl, you just knocked the Miz, but you're not going to knock Logan Paul?
all right, all right, all right, all
No,
right,
no,
all
he
right.
just throw it in the package bag and get his shit out of there. You
Oh,
just
all
told him in
right.
the bag to get his shit out of there. But you want to leave
Okay.
Logan Paul.
Okay, all right, for the halftime. He sucks. Okay, there you go, there you go, halftime. There you go, there you go. Everything is even. Everything is even. There you go. Uh,
Oh man. Yo, halftime is so happy now. So
Yes, flip
let's
it.
get ready to rumble. WWE break it down. Okay. Oh man. All right. We're talking about the connection to the fans with the wrestlers. Why do you feel it's
yes.
so strong?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's good storytelling. It's good, compelling storytelling and must see TV.
Hmm.
I think that's what draws the audience in. If you have a good storyline in wrestling and you can take the audience on a good journey, I
Hmm.
think that speaks volumes. It's almost like your favorite teams in sports.
Hmm.
You want to see them go to that playoffs. You want to be intrigued. You want to see if they're going to make it to the second round. So you want to see. You want to turn on that TV or you want to turn on the internet and see exactly what's happening. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's what it is. It's a journey.
Do you feel that the connection is genuine between between both sides? Excuse me.
Um, yeah, I think that most fans like a storyline. I think both should have like a storyline, and they know there are wrestling fans out there that know their stuff, and they know what they like and they know what they don't like. But then there are other fans that don't know what they like and don't know what they want, and always nitpicking at everything instead of looking at the entire picture, the overall picture. And that frustrates me to no end with some fans. Not all fans, but some fans.
Do you feel the wrestlers' connection to the fans is also genuine?
I would hope so. I would think so. I mean, when you go to those autograph signings and you meet the wrestlers, and they have their people have their favorites that they want to go online for and see. I'll give you an example. At WrestleMania, Ric Flair, people
Hmm.
were lining up to see Ric Flair. Even though he was drunk and he was drinking his daddy juice and everything, that Ric Flair, Ric Flair's gotta have, be Ric Flair. So yeah.
How many beers he could put away? Okay. Must be Steve, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Um, what would, if you were a wrestler, what would your wrestling name be?
Well, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I would say the BK Bomber. Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Would you be a heel, or do you think that you would be one of the good characters?
No, I would like to try that heel persona. Mm.
Everybody wants to be a heel some way or another. So,
And
um,
Mm.
um, now with some wrestlers, they, we talked about it earlier, they transition into acting. Do you feel performing on the wrestling stage helps contributes into their ability to transition into the acting field?
Oh, absolutely. Because when you are an actor or an actress, you have to look, you have to appeal on camera. You have to
Mhm.
appeal, and you have to know how to do your lines and everything. You have to know how to do that very well. And when you cut a promo, now there are some wrestlers that can't cut a promo to say worth a damn. But or they can't sell worth a damn, Charlotte Flair. But anyway, anyway,
Flair, the Miz, out of the Miz, got
I'm
Logan
just,
Paul. Come on.
I already
Hey,
said it,
you
Halftime. I
already said
gave it to
that,
you.
son. You got
I
it. You
already
got it,
said it.
bro.
I got it.
I'm proving a point here.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are.
I got Mitch in there. I got to prove this point.
Okay, go ahead, Halftime.
The Blaze is in the back just watching it. And he's like, all right, he got us. I'm not letting you this one down, Earl.
I know. I can't win. I can't win.
Okay, yeah. This is really a great episode. You guys are doing a great job. Real quick, if you make sure everyone hits the like button on the Hardcore Sports Network, Philly Halftime, Earl Cole, and Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. All the links are in the description, so it's easy for you to get to. Make sure you guys, if you're new, subscribe and hit the notifications so you know when new content is posted. And everyone also share on all social media platforms. Hey, it's free. It helps us out immensely. And this way, we can continue to grow and bring you some great content. So, and we thank you all for, contributing and helping us along the way. Once I have time, I met Blaze today. He will show a photo of us. Okay, what's up, Chad? Thanks for being
Good,
here.
Chad. That's cool, Chad, that you
That
finally got to meet
you
him.
are that the queen. You are dissing Earl. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next subject, and so it's not wrestling or sports based. So, but it's something that it's food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. And I think you guys, you may stop for a second. Some of you who are younger, you probably won't even understand where I'm going with this, but would civilization be better off if the internet had never been created? And I mean, that's something that is very,
That's what I like.
that's something that really makes you think. See, for us growing up, there was a time we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have access to it. My dad was in the military, so he had access. It was all strictly military based. But as someone on the outside in the 70s and the 80s, no, I never had any access to the internet. So, but halftime, let's start with you. Do you feel civilization would be better off if the internet had never been created?
It's kind of funny, Coach. Like sometimes I say yes, but then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm like, you got to evolve and move on. But like,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't have had cable, then you got cable, and then yes, we didn't have internet when we were kids. No, the computer didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, for
Mm-hmm.
you go out there. This is what people are saying. Like when we said we played until the lights came on, because your mom and pop said you stay the hell out of my house. They're not
Mm-hmm.
kidding you. They're not lying to you. They're like, get away, go away. You had to drink water, you go to the friggin' drink it out of the hose. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
turn the hose on, let it run for a minute so it gets cool first. Don't drink it right away because it's hot. But like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, yes, they evolved, but now they don't go out to play. They go and they're stuck on the computer. You can't
Mm-hmm.
get these kids to do what we did. We were athletic. We went and played football. We played baseball. We played half ball. We played anything.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, we
Mm-hmm.
ran the streets. Well, now I'm not going to sit there and say it was a good thing or a bad thing because sometimes you get in trouble. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, and you can look at it like where your kids are now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Listen, they had to put on TV at 10 o'clock on news. We go, hey, do you know where your kids are right now? They don't have
Exactly.
that. Oh, they don't have that no more. Then the missing person on a carton of milk, it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
weird like that. But I mean, sometimes I wish we still didn't have the internet, but then I look and I'm like, where would we be if we didn't have internet?
What about you?
It's
What about you, Earl? Do
at
you?
22.
True, it is. It is a catch
Uh,
22. And Earl, what about you? What's your thoughts?
um, yeah, well, here's the thing. You know, it's a damned if you do and a damned if you don't kind of a thing with the internet and what's going on in the world. Um, if you're not a newsworthy person and you want to know what the news is, the internet is a good way to turn to and find out what's going on in the world. But then at the same token, it could be a detriment because you have young children that are on the internet and they have these weird sick people that come on the internet and they lure children and stuff. So, and that's the most dangerous thing when it comes to kids. Now, I don't have any kids myself, but what I'm saying is that you have to monitor everything your child is doing into those chats because you don't know who you're talking to. You could be chatting with a 12-year-old. You could be chatting with a 15-year-old. You don't know who you're chatting with because a
Yeah.
lot of times people will tell you, "Oh, I'm this age," but they're not really that age. They're much younger than what you think they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a double-edged sword when it comes to the internet because there are people that could be nice on the internet. You could meet people on the internet, and then you can have people that are nasty and they could be
Mm-hmm.
downright mean, especially on Twitter. Some people on Twitter can be very vicious. And they want to do personal attacks. So
Okay. And you guys made some great arguments, some great points. And, in terms of kids being physically active, the dangers associated with it. I mean, but think about so much that happens nowadays with the internet. People work from home. So it gives you a little bit
yes,
more, you don't have to get out and, get up and get dressed. Hey, as long as your top part is clear, you could be in your
Yep.
pajamas down low. You can put on a fake jacket and a tie, or clip on tie. But once your camera's off, pop, pop, there you go. You're not driving to and from work. You're instantly going, doing other things, shopping, paying your bills. Um, Here's an education. People are now getting their degrees through the internet. So
Yep.
you're
yep,
right. There is the double-edged sword. So would civilization be better off? I'm going to say no. What I'm going to say, it's how people use the internet. That is where it
yes,
takes it. But the internet really is supposed to be an interconnection of computers in different locations, as opposed to you're in a work environment and everybody's right then and there. But now you're in Brooklyn, I'm here in Jersey, North Jersey, halftime is in South Jersey. This is the
Yep.
internet. We're interconnected. Everyone in the chat is different places, but we're here socializing. So it's how people use it that's the concern, in terms of everything that you guys were talking about. Because, as I was my next question, what type of effect would no internet have on how we do things? Just like I just said, going shopping. I'm for those who don't know, I'm disabled. A lot of my shopping I do on the internet, having Amazon, come here or bring my groceries here, because it helps me. Because now as a disabled person, and these are things that most people don't think about, and the impact that it would have without the internet, because people who are shut in would be so much more cut off from the world, as opposed to having this medium. How people use it, though, that is the question. So for me, would civilization be better off without it? No. But now, just to be less active, yes. Halftime was right, in terms of the kids. Kids are on the computers all day long. TJ made a great point, in terms of everyone would not be on their phones and tablets and TVs and other stuff, which is true. How many times you could be out there walking and people bump into each other because what? They're like this. They're not paying
Right.
attention to where they're going.
right,
People
right.
drive, and you know what? Let's be real, texting and driving, which is now against the law. But um, it's a catch 22, and again, it's how you use it, how people. Yes, it is it's contributing to raising the next generation, but now again, it's how people utilize it in their lives. Good parents, they will use that as a tool, but then you know what? No, you're on it too much. Let's put your phones down. Let's sit down to dinner, have a conversation, and act accordingly. I know plenty of parents who do that. You know, my sister, for example, with my nephews growing up, they used to love their Nintendos and things of that nature. And she'd always say, "You got an hour after you do your homework and everything, do your chores. You only have an hour. That's it. You have an hour for that or TV." So it's how you, as adults in the household, allow your children to be raised through it. I was never a big proponent of, allowing my children to stay on the computer, use it for what it's for, and then you give them a certain privilege time. So, because I grew up in an era, I'd have to go to the library to do research. Halftime, I think Earl, you can relate. Now it's right here. We have a
Yeah.
we have we and here's a foreign word to some of the younger generation: encyclopedia.
Yeah, they don't know what that is.
They don't understand about that. In an actual physical dictionary or a thesaurus. But then
Yep.
again, you have your computer, which is through the internet, which allows you to have that. So it's you're right when you said at halftime, it's a catch-22, Earl. It's a double-edged sword. You're right. You're so right. Because then there are the risks, like you were saying, people coming in. I was talking about paying bills. You have hackers who hack into all the databases. They hack into the federal government.
Yep.
How many times have we heard that? Or a hacker got into whatever big corporation and they had to shut it down because they got a virus or whatever the case may be. So it's a double edge, but if it's used right, it's a great tool. You had something to say, halftime?
So yeah. So even to let you know, my kid goes on the internet. Like, he amazes me. Like, I'm like, he'll come up and say shit to me. I'm like, how do you know that? He goes, the internet. He goes, I'm on the internet all the time, Dad. I'm like, and it's like, all right. Like, when I was your age, I didn't know that shit because we had to go. We didn't have the internet. We went outside and played. We didn't really go. Let's be honest. We didn't really go hang out at libraries and freaking. All right, let's go study.
Okay, because there were some people, some good people, some girlfriends. You would go to the library to hang out and go in the back corner.
Yes, we just pulled them away from the book.
Yes.
A little smoochy woochy.
Exactly. Yeah. Smoochy woochy.
Together, and it's all you need is a little bit of me. That's what it was. So,
yeah, so I know.
But even like my son amazes me, my daughter amazes me. Watching them on the internet, I'm like, how are they doing this? I couldn't do this at their age. I know I couldn't. I'm like, but then again, the internet wasn't as fast. Like one click of the button, it goes bloop. When the internet first came out, you had to hook it up you had to hook up a wire to the freaking phone cord, and you had to wait for AOL to go do. Like,
you have mail.
You got mail. Like, you had to go through a process.
Yes.
To get anything on the internet.
Yes.
Now the internet's so fast.
Yes.
At the click of a thing, you can find out anything you want so fast. It's unreal. And my son amazes me, and my daughter amazes me. And yes, I'm like, damn, how smart are these kids right now? But it's like, it also takes away being outside and talking with kids and doing shit like that. That's what I was trying to get at. But I mean, like I said, it's a catch-22. It could be for the good, it could be for the bad.
Yeah, everyone has a camera now. So, and as I say, when you go out, because people say, "Oh, don't record me, don't record me." There's cameras everywhere. I can put down my phone and I don't have to record you, but how many cameras are on the corners? I mean, you don't think about people who have cameras hanging in their homes. So yeah, okay, fine. You don't want me to record in your face, but don't think that you're being sneaky and hiding.
Yeah, you're not being sneaky hiding. The bar has a camera outside. The traffic light has cameras inside the traffic light that's watching you. You're being watched 24/7 when you go outside now. Now, back in the day when we were kids, they didn't have this shit. So you got away with a little bit more. But like, banks have cameras. Anywhere you go inside of a post office, you're being watched. And they say, hey, don't bring a camera in here, but you're watching me, but I can't film in here. What is wrong with that? Here's
the other thing. Okay. because they can say that, but don't forget, technology is so you can put cameras in your glasses, you can have little buttons that
Yep.
you know what? Okay, fine. I'm still recording you, and people are still recording you, and you don't even realize it. So that's why when if I'm out and about, I don't worry about cameras anymore. It's not like I'm sitting there stripping off my clothes and running around butt naked in the streets. Look, if I'm worried about being recorded, then I shouldn't be out in the streets. Period. Case closed. Go in your home, pull down the shades, pull up your blinders, cut
Yep.
yourself off from the rest of the world because it's always being recorded. And hey, here's another thing: your computers.
Yep. They're
You have a
they're
camera on it.
recording you now. They're recording you now.
You could turn your computer off, and it still has the opportunity. No, not completely shut it down. But what I'm getting at is, if you have it and it goes to sleep, hackers
Right.
have a way of tapping in and pulling on your camera, and you don't even know it. So
Your phone, you might not think you're on, but you're on.
you're on.
So like that's why if you do something and you break the law, that's why the cop says, "Well, give me your phone." Because they can hack into it and see what you've been on, what you did, how you did it, when you did it. It's all satellites are crazy anymore. People are thinking they're not being watched, and they're being watched 24/7.
Look, here's the thing, and I know people will say, "Well, that's the Big Brother effect." Not really. That is technology. Big Brother knows how to tap into technology to get information. But think about it. We have the Alexa apps. All you have to do is say, "Alexa," and see, mine just came on. I have one here on your phone.
Mine just came on just because you said it.
Exactly. You have your series on your phone. It comes on. So they're listening to you. So and it's accessible. So I understand the concerns. That's why for me, I don't fear the internet because you know what? If you don't want the internet, then get rid of cell phones. Go back to old school. Get one of the big screen TVs, the real big ones that they're not stealing anymore nowadays because they're too damn big. There's no cameras on that. So, even your internet service, you get rid of all that. It's available. It's accessible. And yes, I understand the concerns, but you know what? It's also a great tool because that's just a progression that we have. Because if we don't have this, let's be real. Well, let's go back to the 1870s and get on the horses and push the horse and buggy and do a lot of the things. Nah, most of us would not be able to handle that. I'll be honest. We wouldn't be able to handle that. We're too spoiled.
Like even the cars these days.
Yes.
I mean, you people don't understand. Even the cars these days, everybody knows where you're at. The car knows where it's at. The car drives by itself. You think the car drives by itself? No. They got this technology that is driving this thing. From the satellites in space and all that, You're like, oh, the car's driving itself. When that car gets out of control, who's going to be able to handle that car?
Exactly.
What happens if the car shuts down like your computer shuts down while you're driving? Have you ever had your computer just shut the hell down? And you're like, "Ma, damn, I was doing something. And it just shut down on you?" While you're driving. See, that's what I'm going to be aware about this shit too.
Exactly. All right. So that was just something that, I was thinking about earlier and doing some research and being on the computer. And I'm like, well, how will we react? Will we be better off without the internet? And I'm going to be honest, no. Plus, we're too damn spoiled. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're too damn spoiled. You take it away from us, we're going to go crazy. Take the phone out of your kids' hands. See how they're lost. So will we be better off? No. But how we use it can probably help a little bit more. So, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the next subject. It's that time. It's
I
that
get to go on a
time.
rant.
It's that time. Halftime with his Philadelphia Eagles, me with and Earl with our Giants. So it's coming. Right now it's preseason, baby. It's preseason. Well, I know most people don't really care about preseason per se, but you know what? It's still fun. It's still fun, with the
Yes.
preseason. Right now, you have you have two games that are being played right now. Um, the Chicago Bears are totally dominating the Cincinnati Bengals 24-3 in the fourth quarter. But hey, it's preseason. And the Houston Texans are beating my Giants now 14-10 in the third quarter. So,
Didn't Daniel Jones do a pick six?
yep. Yep.
I
He
just
was,
I just seen that.
yeah.
I just seen a
Yeah.
recap of that.
Yeah, he was
And
getting rushed.
that makes me nervous.
Yeah, I know. I know. A lot of Giants fans, there's already people who were, going crazy. And I'm like this. It's preseason, man. It was his first
Listen,
action.
at least you are seeing your offensive line, your starters play. I haven't got to see my starters play.
That's going to be challenging, but you probably have to go through it next week. So,
So that's what
and
I wanted to ask you, Coach, on it. But
what?
I do have a question about my
Go
how
ahead.
you, because you're a coach, right? And
Mhm.
now it's preseason.
Mhm.
All right, you're going to go against a team. You have a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator. You
Mhm.
got a new running back, right?
Mhm.
You have a
Mhm.
new center. You have new weapons, all on
Mhm.
offense. And you don't actually play any games, not even for a quarter to see what kind of rhythm or anything happens. Don't you need to see that?
You would think so, but it depends on who the team is. Because if you have a very veteran laden team, and now here's the thing: in today's game, they do things. Don't forget the dual practices. A lot of times, the dual practice you'll ramp it up to almost a game type atmosphere. Just keep off the quarterback. Really, that's really what it boils down to. Stay off the quarterback, but you're still getting the action and you're still working. And on top of this, a lot of times you're doing it over 2 days, where a football game is just one game. This is giving you two games. And like my Giants, we're doing two dual practices. We did one last week against Detroit, and next week you're doing one against the Jets. So you still can get the work in if you have a veteran team. Now, if you're a team that's rebuilding and you have a young team, then maybe you need to continue on and get as much work as you can. The game is necessary. I do understand where teams say they're trying to minimize the injury opportunities. The only thing I say is I'm a coach where I don't coach being afraid of injuries. I don't play worrying about injuries, because when you do that, what happens? You
They
get
get
injured.
injured.
Yeah. But if you just go out and you play each game and each play like it's your last play, then it changes the whole dynamics of how you go about your business of preparing for the season. Want to give away your secret plays with those secret weapons? Well, Damien, I'm going to say this: if you're running your plays that you're going to run in the season, serious plays, then yeah, you're right. But most coaches run basic vanilla plays.
No,
I
but you
mean,
got to have a chemistry,
yeah,
Damien.
and
You
that's the
don't
whole.
have to run your plays. You can run the melody, the friggin' just the simplest plays there
Mhm,
is.
mhm.
But you got to have chemistry. And
Exactly.
having a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, the Eagles will start their starters because of the chemistry, but Nick Sirianni don't want to because he blames the rain. And well, it's gonna rain. You
Hmm.
can't stop the weather. It's gonna rain.
Right.
Don't be scared of being hurt.
Exactly. And because here's the thing that I always say with football, okay? And I've always told players this, from the get go. when you come in, don't worry about injuries. Playing football is 100% injury. You're guaranteed 100% to get injured. You're going to get. I don't care if it's a little bump and your little ache and little pain from playing the game. You're still going to get injured, and you're going to get. You're going to face injuries. Are you hurting or are you injured? Is this a severe injury? Then do we have to go through surgery and so on and so forth? Then we have to ramp it up. That's different. But sometimes you're just hurting. And I'm like, don't be afraid. Just go out and play.
I'm hurting all the time. I'm hurting 24/7. So get out there.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
there's a lot of teams though. There are a lot of teams like in the NFL and of course in other sports like Major League Baseball. The minute somebody gets injured on the team, it's like a death sentence to the team because now everybody's like demoralized and it's
Mhm.
like okay, we're not going to perform at this level because our star player is injured. So let's just pull back and we'll just settle for less and then that to me is not the correct way of bringing the forefront here. Yeah, your star player is injured, but you got to go out there and you still got to gut up and you got to go and man up, so to speak, and go out there and go to that championship pay window. Because that's what every other team wants to do. Every other person, they're not like like you said, Coach. You don't want to worry about the injury. You want to go out there and yes, your teammate is down, but you want to go out there and show how much fortitude you have and how much drive you
Mhm.
have and how much power you have and what is your reserves and bring out those reserves and put the team on the best footing that you want to possibly do for the fan base.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. You can't be afraid, to compete. And, to your point, Earl, what you're talking about is you're cheating the game. You don't want to cheat the game. I'd rather go out there, give my all, get hurt, because I'm out here going 1,000 miles an hour, as opposed to I'm tippy toeing out there, I'm running 50%, and you know what? One of my teammates has to try and avoid me, and they end up getting hurt because they were trying to avoid me. Where if I went full bore, you never know what happens. Speaking of injury, what's your thoughts on the kickoff rule? In my opinion, I think it's stupid. I mean, they're trying to stop injuries, but at the same time, you're making the love of sport. Uh, I've watched it and I've gotten used to it from the XFL, UFL, UCF, USFL era. I'm fine with it. I understand the concept. Um, there's ways to scheme with it, and I did a breakdown last week on one team's effort, and that's what teams are going to do. They're going to try and yeah, it's the same thing. It's just I come from an era where receivers coming across the middle, you would crack them. You can't do that nowadays. The rules
Right.
change. There's a lot of change within the sport. Like people are targeting the kickoff. Well, let's see. You can go back to the way you tackle. It's being changed. You horse collar. When I played, there was no such thing as a horse collar. You
Right.
could pull somebody from the back of their collar and to bring them down. Can't do
You
that
could
now.
pull them by their hair. It didn't matter.
Mhm.
You could pull
So
them by the hair, whatever it was, because the hair was the jersey. It
exactly.
didn't matter.
But now you adjust to the changes. It's always going to be some type of change in football, in sports. I get it. You don't like it. There's a lot of things that I don't like. I don't like the way they've taken out the level of physicality in some regards. But in the same token, I understand the intent. You don't want to see guys who walk away from the game dealing with severe spinal injuries. I deal with spinal injuries right now because of
Right.
my playing days. Now would I change it? No, I'd go back and do the same damn thing. I wouldn't change it. But that's me. But I also understand the intent. What you're trying to take away, and I mean, so what you're trying to improve. And it's just like with the rules with the quarterback, how you can't hit the quarterback. You know, you can't split line the quarterback nowadays the way I used to be able to when I played in the 80s and in the 90s. You can't do that now. different
Yes.
time, different air. Same thing with the kickoff. And ladies and gentlemen, the biggest issue was because they're worrying about concussions. And when the NFL got sued,
Hmm.
that
Yep.
changed everything. If they
Yep.
never got sued, or if they never lost the suit,
Yes.
football would still be pretty much the same way. You
But
come
now
down.
they lost a lot of money, so
Mm-hmm.
they're going
What
to
do
say,
you
all right, we got to do it this way now. But
exactly?
Damien, on that, the only thing I don't like about the the kickoff is, like I was telling me and Coach talked about
Mm-hmm.
it, it's the return for the touchdown. You're not going to get those returns for touchdowns no more. They took that out of the game. I feel. Coach says no, but we're going to find out if anybody has.
Bro, didn't they score a touchdown last week on a kickoff return? I'm just saying.
Oh,
I forgot who it was. I have to look it
now
up.
I gotta go find this kickoff for a touchdown.
I'll tell you, yeah, kickoff return. I forgot who it was, but yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, but this is preseason.
I know it's preseason, but the point of the matter is, it's still a return for a touchdown.
That's the guy that guy just lost his job. They couldn't tackle him. That guy just lost his job.
It's not only about that. It's
No,
how
he
you.
lost his job, Coach. You know
No,
it.
what I'm saying is, it
his
depends on the scheme. It's just like if you get a running back who breaks free for a long touchdown, if you block it right, they might not have it. You might not have had anybody miss a tackle. They just wouldn't have been blocked. So let me see.
I gotta find that one out. I gotta look at that.
It was Nixon had a night. I think it was last week with the Packers. Let me just double check this.
Would that affect like the red zone in the red zone plays, or if it's
No.
third and goal, would that affect?
No, they're just talking about kickoff, Earl.
Okay.
Right when the game starts. It's
Okay.
Jaguars and
But
Chiefs.
was the Jaguars and Chiefs.
Yes. Jacksonville's Parker Washington returned the longest return under the NFL rule. It was 73 yards. Oh, it set up an early touchdown. I'm sorry. It was a long return for 73 yards. Still, you had a long return. So, and that's the point I'm getting at.
Get no touchdowns out of this.
I still think you're going to get touchdowns.
but no, but who does it? But who does this new rule benefit though? Does it benefit the other team, or does it benefit the home team?
It don't benefit nobody. Earl.
I disagree.
No.
I disagree. And what it does is it creates the opportunity. Like I said, it's first and foremost, this is new. So everyone is trying to figure it out. Once you develop the scheme on how to block and open, because here's the thing. With the rule, the coverage team is sitting right there in one straight line across.
Okay.
And that's the thing. And then you have the return team who has their players pretty much lined up there, or at least certain ones, and you have two players
Straight
back.
Yeah.
And then
you got a couple guys in the back.
If you block it right, and that returner gets into the alley that you open for him, he only has a kicker to worry about.
Yes.
And that's what I'm getting at. The old way, you could stagger your coverage. That's what most people, the average fan doesn't pay attention to that. There were staggers that you would get. There were certain people that you would call safety. They didn't come all the way down. They got to a certain point and they would hold and wait, because if somebody broke, they had at least some feel to be able to get there and make a play. So now everybody's right there on that, and literally close to the returner. And if you can just get one little seam and that guy gets right through it and he can get past the kicker, it's a long return. So that's what everyone is trying to find out. So there will be 5 kick return touchdowns this year, TJ Watt says. Who knows? Yo, Earl, the Pearl, Cole, Slaw, my dog, Granzier. Says
What's
what's up,
good,
Earl.
Grant? There, I haven't seen you in a
So,
bit.
All right, Granzier, we're good. How are you? And Star Wars Tanner McKee will be the number 2 quarterback for the Eagles.
He should be, because Kenny Pickett can't throw
Who will
past
be
10
the
yards.
return? Cordell Patterson. He says Cordell Patterson may get one. Okay, we'll see, TJ. We'll see.
Okay.
Who knows? But hey, I mean, and you know what? That was a great, Damian, great job, because that was one of the questions I wanted to talk about in terms of, the football, in terms of the kickoff, and Texans just scored a touchdown. Okay. But the next question is, we were talking about injuries earlier, and there were some that, are important. And it deals with the Minnesota Vikings. They lost their first overall draft pick, J.J. McCarthy, to knee issues, and Addison went out with injuries. So how do you think those injuries will impact the Vikings halftime?
Well, you know how you were saying, like, you could take the wind out of their sails
Mm-hmm.
because their starting quarterback is down. So now it's like, you're like, wait a minute, our starting quarterback's out. Our guys are getting hurt already. Are we already done before the season starts? And these people in the locker room, that's what they're saying to themselves right now. It might be in a group going, are we done already? And we ain't even start the season? What is the owner? What is the manager? What is the coaches going to do to get us a guy that can keep us in this season? Because right now they're thinking their season's done. My beliefs are if you lose a quarterback that soon, that there's going to be talks in the locker room thinking that it's already over with before it starts. And I think that's happening right now with the Vikings.
well, it goes back to what I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
No. I didn't mean to cut you off, Coach.
Go ahead.
It's just what goes back to what I said earlier about injuries and demoralizing a team and how everybody is like pushing the panic button. I think if you trade for a quarterback and bring in somebody that's good. I'm not saying it's going to be as good as what you got, but at least it's good, and he can throw an errorless football. And he could be protected at all times. Then I think you should. I think you should trade.
Well,
Now
here's
there
the
was
thing.
trade talks. The Vikings called up the Dallas Cowboys and asked, "What are they looking for?" Dak Prescott. So that is one of the rumors. I do not think it's going to happen, but like Earl, you're just saying that you got to make a trade or something. I mean, Vic was saying you got to make a trade or something. Yeah, they're going to have to try to figure something out, though. And now, if Dak Prescott goes to the Vikings, I think that team will be a lot better.
Oh, they'll be much better.
Who knows what happened? I don't think Dak is going anywhere, just to make sure everybody understands, but you never know.
Well,
the
Vikings this year already, they signed Matt Corral. It's not a big, game changer, but they just signed him to join the roster. They also have Nick Mullins and Jared Hall on the roster. So, it's just, right now it looks like they're going to go with Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback and see what happens. They do have a good offensive line. They do have a decent running game. And they have Jay Jetta, who's, one of the top receivers in the league. So, now Addison, how long is he going to be out for? If he's not lost for that long, then, they should be all right. They'll still be a good team to deal with. So, they could also see about the Saints. Derek Carr, you better off with staying with Sam Darnold. I'm going to be brutally honest.
Yeah,
It's going to be more.
Derek Carr is not as good as a quarterback as a lot of people think he is to me. But I mean, you might see the Vikings actually call up Pittsburgh. You know,
yeah,
like because they got Russell Wilson and who's the other guy they have?
Justin Jefferson.
Well, no, who's the other quarterback that Pittsburgh has?
Justin Jefferson. I mean, Justin Fields. I said
Justin Fields. Well, you think Justin Jefferson? He's a wide receiver. I'm like,
yeah, no,
yeah, but they got Justin Fields. So could the Vikings call Pittsburgh and go for Justin Fields? That's a possibility.
I mean, it's a possibility. As far as Kaepernick is done in the NFL.
Yes, he'll never go in the NFL. He's sued the NFL. He's not going to be in the NFL.
First and foremost, he's 38 years old. He hasn't played in how many years? So even if you want to take a lot of the the political aspect out of the equation, he hasn't played. So his body is not ready for it. So I understand he's shown videos where he's thrown the ball around a little bit here and there, but he's not ready to play in the game right now, physically as well as mentally. So no, I don't think it would be a good move for him or for the Vikings to give him a call. So that's how I see it. He's if you were talking about the year after, then I could say, yeah, I could understand that. But now, no, he's done. He's done.
Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys something. What do you think would be a good quarterback for the Vikings? Like who would that person be to gel well with the rest of the team? And would the chemistry be there? That's a big question.
Right now, if you're talking about based on the availability of quarterbacks, you're probably better off with Sam Darnold unless you're going to get Russell Wilson, because I can't see the Steelers moving on from. I can't see the Steelers moving on from Justin Fields right now. He's still a young quarterback. If you see that you have the opportunity to develop him, fine. Now, if you feel that he's no good, he's not going to help you, then then you could trade him to try and see if Minnesota would want him.
Justin Fields that good of a quarterback.
Yeah, Zach Wilson to the Vikings. I think Wilson is solidified in Denver from everything I've heard. But
Zach Wilson is not that good of a quarterback either. You might as well stay where they might as well stay where they're at if you're going to go get Zach Wilson.
Exactly.
I don't think Justin Fields is that good of a quarterback. I don't know what a lot of people seeing the kid, but I did that he can run. But it is being a quarterback. It's reading the defense. It is got a lot of more than just he can run. It's more than he can just, he's going to bring it down and he's going to run. He has to do more than that. I don't think Justin Fields is that quarterback. He didn't show it in Chicago. And I don't think he'll be, if he was a starting quarterback for the Vikings, I don't think he would be that good either.
I think it's a matter of coaching. Did he receive the right type of coaching in Chicago? That's my opinion. As opposed to, with Tomlin in Pittsburgh, you have an opportunity to get coached up by one of the elite coaches in the game. So, but you could be right. He just, is a running quarterback. So, but I think, because I watched him at Old State. I'm telling you right now, at Old State, he was showing a little bit of something. He just needed to be developed. So I don't think he's gotten the development that he needed in the NFL. So Fields, Hurts isn't. If we are going to go, well, I will say this: Jalen Hurts has shown that he can still pass in the NFL. Now he has weapons. See, this is the thing that that's why I say coaching is the key. Justin Fields has not had the talent that Jalen Hurts has had. But let's be honest, he hasn't had an offensive line that a strong running game, two elite wide receivers, a top level tight end. He hasn't had that. He just hasn't. That I have to be honest. I have to be fair. That's why he also hasn't had good coaching. So Tannehill might be an option to the Vikings. I could see
I,
that depending.
I think
But
Daniel's done, don't you, Coach?
but you look at who they have. Sam Darnold. Tannehill's I think is an upgrade over Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but ain't it a coin flip between them two?
I
They're
mean,
not
you
really
get an
It's a
argument.
tails.
I just did Sam Darnold. I have an issue with Sam Darnold because of
I got a big
no.
issue with both of them. So
I'd rather. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, if I'm weighing it out, I have more of an issue over Sam Darnold. You think about the I'm seeing goats comment. That means you can't handle the pressure in my eyes. You
right.
can't handle pressure mentally. You just get totally shot. So there's a reason Fields isn't in Chicago anymore. They gave up on a young quarterback. Again, the Chicago is not Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. Chicago is
No,
not the Chicago Bears are not the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of the way the organization is run, having a top level coaching and having talent around him. There's just not. Whether you gave up on a young quarterback, yeah, they did, but you were talking about firing the head coach. What does that say right there? So it's
yeah,
like,
they don't have, they got rid of the offensive coordinator. Was talking about they got rid of their defensive coordinator, and they was thinking about firing the head coach. But
yeah,
if you're going to
exactly,
say
Danny.
Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts are the same player, they're not. Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has been in playoffs. So
That's my point.
you can't say that kind of stuff.
But the argument though is Jalen Hurts has had more talent. See, I understand what Damien is saying. They're both the same similar style of quarterback. Now, Hurts has had coaching to help him be a
Yes.
better quarterback. But in terms of the talent, they're both the same. They really are. They both have strong arms. Now, Jalen Hurts has shown that he can read the field a little bit, but schematically, there's some things that the Eagles do to take advantage of his skill set. They're not making him Patrick Mahomes. He's not sitting back there trying to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers, then take off and run. He's not trying to go off the cuff, moving all over the place and throwing the ball and changing the arm angles. That's not Jalen Hurts' game. That's why him and Fields are similar. Look, 1, 2, take off and run if you have to, for the most part. That's their game, and they're very athletic, and that's where they're good. So that's why I think you can make the argument they're similar. Now, if Justin Fields was in Philly's offense, would it be the same results? We don't know. But see, he'd have to get coached up. Yes. If he's coached up, I'm going to say, based on what I saw watching him at Ohio State, and I watched Fields when he was at Alabama and Oklahoma, and I'm sorry, Justin Fields was a better quarterback than him. He was a better quarterback coming out of Ohio State than what Jalen Hurts was coming out of Oklahoma. I watched him intently when he was at Alabama. Remember, he got pulled for Tua. Yeah. So I get where you're going. I understand right now, as a professional, he's better because of his situation and he's been coached up better than Hurts. But coming out of college, Justin Fields was much better than him. Go back and watch the tape. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Let me ask you guys something. If Jalen Hurts was not with the Eagles, where if he wasn't with the Eagles, where would you see him in the NFL? Which team would you think he would fit best?
Who are you talking about, John? Who are you talking about, Earl?
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
If he wasn't with the Eagles?
Yes. Where would you see him fit in an NFL team?
It,
Where
it's
who would be best fit with it?
it's hard to say because the Eagles built their system around
Yeah.
his strengths. So will another coaching staff identify that and take advantage of that? So, but here wait a minute, 1 second before we go any further. Damien, you're going back to making those outtakes, man. Stop it.
Yeah,
Stop it,
he's
bro.
not better than Lamar
No,
Jackson.
no, no. There's no way in hell he's better than
Stop
Lamar
that.
Jackson.
See,
Stop that. Okay? Stop it.
but Earl, where you're asking is a team gets a quarterback, and if he's the franchise quarterback, they had to build a team around him. It doesn't matter what
Right.
quarterback it is. It could be
Okay.
Dak Prescott. It could be whoever it is. It's Patrick Mahomes. They build an offensive line around him for the way he plays.
Okay.
So all teams do this. So you can't just say,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Jalen Hurts is going to be good with the Giants. No, because just because Jalen Hurts could be a good quarterback, you might not be. You can say Patrick Mahomes to the Giants. They're not built around Patrick Mahomes. You got to
Okay.
build a team around that guy now. And
Okay.
because Patrick Mahomes they are built around. Kansas City is built around Patrick Mahomes. He's the star. He's the guy. You got to
Right.
save him. You got to, you know what I mean? But they know what he can do. They know what he can't do. They know his ins and outs.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Hurts, okay? And you Eagles fans, you understand what I'm going to say. Prior to getting AJ Brown, many Eagles fans were ready to move on from Hurts.
Yeah.
They were ready, but what did Sirianni do? What did that? They identified that they needed a big body receiver to put on that field to
Mm-hmm.
help take the pressure.
Off of
So
John
it's also building the system, and that's the thing that you need to do. And now you'll let him to develop, which goes back to Fields. Fields hasn't had that type. Think about when he was at Ohio State. He had elite wide receivers. He had a top level offensive line around him. So yeah, college is different. I understand college is
Yes.
different. But the point I'm making is he was able to sit back there with the talent around him and produce. And that's what I'm getting at. Chicago, he has not had that ability.
Well, like you said, in Chicago, it was more coaching. They didn't build. Chicago didn't build around him.
All right.
So
I'm ignoring Damien from here on out. I'm not acknowledging any more of his.
no, Damien, you got to stop that. Lamar Jackson has like what 2 MVPs.
It's not. He's not based off of just running. He also
He don't
passed for
run. He just
yards.
run.
So and now if you want to question some of his mechanics, it's more of a shot put type. Okay, that's fine. But every quarterback is different. Some quarterbacks come over the top. Some come 3/4. Some sidearm. Whatever. But the bottom line is the numbers. You go and you pull up the numbers. And look at his passing yards. He's not just running for his stats. He's also now. Does he move well in the pocket and things of that nature? Yes. Yes, he does. Is he dangerous and dynamic in the open field? Yeah, of course. But he's proven he can also sit back there and take advantage if you give him some receivers to get to the ball to his receivers.
The problem is when Baltimore gets those receivers.
Right.
I can see San Francisco with the system. That's a legitimate one.
No, that right there is, but that's a scheme.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's a scheme. That's my whole point.
That would be a scheme building around Jalen Hurts. They have a scheme that Jalen Hurts could fit.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the whole point. That's what you need to, to factor in. So
like if Dak Prescott went to the 49ers, I think Dak Prescott would win a Super Bowl with that team.
Good point.
Because of the scheme. I don't think Dallas, he'll never win one with Dallas. They don't have a scheme around them. They're built around them, but You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're not giving him his number one option as a wide receiver. He don't have a he don't have that tight end that he might need, to help the block and situations.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a running game. There's different things all the way around.
Exactly. So, all right. Now, the next aspect in terms of the Jets, and the Hassan Reddick situation. Um, as my man NYG22 always said, the Jets do Jets things. And this is a Jets thing, man. I admit I was even trying to say, the Jets are going to be good, but how? Look, it's a standard practice for the most part. When you trade for a player, you at least see, are you going to honor your contract? And
Yes.
we'll get your new contract, even if it's after the season. Or can we work out a contract now before we make the trade?
Right.
And now you've had 3 months to get this done. And here we are. This man is now asking for it. You traded for him this year. He hasn't been in training camp, and now he's already asking to be traded.
Wow.
One, I'm going to be honest with you, Reddick. I think other teams would be apprehensive, to trade for him. There's a reason why Philly gave up on him, because he's still an elite pass rusher. He definitely is. But
Right.
what is he asking for money wise? And that's the concern.
Or is he being a prima donna?
I don't know. I don't know what he's asking for in reference to his contract. So I just know that he's asking to be traded because the Jets are not trying to meet his contract demands. So and that's what it boils down to. So of course you don't want elite teams to get him, but the point being is the Jets screwing this up.
Yep.
And that's really what it boils down to. I don't begrudge.
Like Coach said, it don't make any sense.
Look, I don't begrudge a player asking for his money. You want to ask for the money, ask for the money. You want to negotiate, you go negotiate. But in the same token, as an organization, you need to make sure you cross your I's and dot your I's and cross your T's, because it makes no sense to make a trade. You gave up. What did you give? They gave up a 3rd round draft pick, and you let one of your young players go, where you could have signed him for a cheaper rate, and in Bryce Huff, who ended up going to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
you could have had him. And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Earl. What were you going to ask?
No. What I was saying is that no. I just wanted to just piggyback off of what you said there. They gave up a 3rd round pick, and they also gave up the 2nd round pick as well. And
Earl, it could turn into a second round pick.
Yeah, you can turn around back. Okay, well, okay.
So if he plays and he gets so many sacks that it can go up to a 2nd round pick.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. It just seems like the Jets can't seem to get out of their own way. They seem to just do the most dumbest things, and they seem to do the most idiotic things that I've ever seen a football team do. And they don't sit there and they don't look at the overall fundamental picture. You want a team. You want to try to get a team together that you could cohesively put together on that field, and win some games. It's just sometimes the things that I've seen and I read and I look at it's a head scratcher to me, and I'm sitting here like how in the world could you ask your fan base to rally behind you if you can't even do the right things and put the right people and put the right tools on the field to even go further than you're supposed to? Because let's just face it, every season it's always a losing season for that team. And they seem to keep embarrassing themselves each and every single time you turn on the TV. So I'm kind of like frustrated about that. I don't know about anybody else, but it's just in my opinion, it's very frustrating.
And you're right,
No,
Earl. Like Earl's saying, the head coach is on the hot seat. The GM's on the hot seat right now. That's what you're saying, Earl. You just put them on the hot seat for making this stupid mistake all the time. But
Yeah.
if the Eagles had a problem with Riddick and not wanting to sign with the Eagles, that's why the Eagles traded him. How come, like Coach said, how come you didn't say, all right, let me talk to that guy first and see if I can figure out a contract or see if he's going to, you know, honor his contract? And
exactly.
that's what you had to do. But Coach is right.
Skeleton, we're talking about the New York Jets with the situation with Reddick, how they are bumbling this situation again, and they are now the Jets are doing Jets things, basically. And it's sad, especially for the New York City area when you see a team that really on paper, not the field, on paper, they should have a lot. They have a lot of talent there that they should be competing, or they could possibly compete. You know, maybe for a playoff spot. But they should be really someone who in the AFC at least should be competing and not looking like buffoons again. But here we are. You traded right now a third round that could become a second round draft pick for um for him, and you didn't do your due diligence of making sure that you know what he was at least going to play this year, and you could do the contract after the season or solidify the contract ahead of time before you make the trade with the Eagles. So that's the sad part right now, and that's the concerning part right now in terms of yeah, you're right. They're fumbling the bag when it comes. New York. Well, right now it's hard to defend completely, but you still do have some teams that with the Rangers, with the Liberty, with the Knicks, with the Yankees, they're still competing. Heck, even the Mets, for everything that you want to say after the season started, the Mets are still not that far off of the wild card,
No,
so
the
they are
Mets are
competing.
really coming up. So
Yeah. So but again, the Jets doing and being who they are continue to show who they are. Really, the New York bumbling Jets.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I just don't know anymore. It's like they're tripping over their own feet.
Hmm.
Here you are. You could have something promising, but for some reason you like the taste of defeat more than the promised land. I don't know. It's the $100 million question.
Exactly. All right. So the next question, Tyler says, "I'm kind of feel like sick. My voice is kind of losing. I hope you feel better, Tyler. You know,
I hope you're not like me losing my voice because I yell too much.
they don't think before they trade. They didn't think before they traded Reddick. They just traded, and that's it. No, you're right.
Yep.
They didn't think about the situation, skeleton. And like I said, evaluate everyone else in the league. At least would have. You know what? Can we talk to him ahead of time to see if we can work out a contract, or talk to him and say, "Are you going to honor the contract?" And then we'll see what we can do at least for the after the season. So but hey, the Jets are the Jets, and you know what? Until they prove otherwise, as someone said to me, they're the bumbling Jets. So the next thing we touched on it a little bit, but the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback battle. Who do you guys think is going to ultimately win that position? I'll start with you, Earl. Go ahead. Give me your thoughts
Uh,
on the Steelers and with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Who do you think is going to end up winning the starting battle?
um, well, from what I was reading, they said that Wilson is in the lead for the spot. You know, so Wesley likes to
Oh,
stew. Oh, yeah. I
um,
think I think he's in the lead. It all depends on,
here you
yeah.
go.
Uh, he's leading in that field, and
Mhm,
I think it comes down to the numbers, and it
mm,
comes down to who can produce because here's the thing with a quarterback, and I always said this: you have to have fluidity to you, and you have to have less interceptions, and you have to relax in the pocket when you throw into the target that you're looking for. And
mhm,
that defense needs to come up and protect that quarterback. I've seen in football where the defense just failed the quarterback and exposed him too much.
mhm, mhm,
That's something you can't have in a football game. Especially if you're in the red zone or you're third and goal or something. So you want to protect that quarterback, and you want to know what his numbers dictate. So
mhm.
that's the only thing that I think that's in the forefront here. But
What about you, halftime? Who do you think's going to win it?
Well, like I always say, money talks and bullshit walks. And guess what? Because he's the one getting paid all the money. Listen,
Hmm.
look at their contracts. Look who's getting the money, and that's who's going to
They're
start.
both they're both getting the same thing. They both really getting the because
I thought
Wilson
Russell was getting more.
Russell Wilson, he came in under the vet minimum because Denver owes him all that money. So
Oh,
Pittsburgh just
so
offered him.
Denver's giving him all that money
Yes,
because he was.
Denver because of the cap, they took the cap hit. So
Oh, they
Pittsburgh
really
did
took the cap hit.
$85 million. So Russell Wilson,
Russell
I think
Wilson.
both. I think they're both getting the vet minimum, or I think Fields might be getting a little bit more because I can't remember. But yeah, Wilson came in on the
Oh,
vet minimum.
I thought Pittsburgh was going to pay that money.
No, they wouldn't have done the trade. They
I thought
wouldn't
they
have
was going
done.
to pay that money. I didn't know it
Mm-mm.
was going. I didn't know Denver was paying all that. Denver's stupid for that.
Yeah,
But
we already know that. Yeah,
Russell Wilson is definitely going to be the starting quarterback. I
Ex-
mean, he has to be.
that was my whole. That's how I was thinking too. So to be honest with you, I'm thinking it's going to be Russell Wilson. Justin Fields is still developing. And he's still young, and allow him to sit behind Russell Wilson,
Yes.
and then you take it from there. So, um,
Maybe
I
Russell
think,
Wilson could show him the ropes where he can settle him down and say, hey, this is how you read a defense.
mm-hmm,
People
mm-hmm,
forget that Russell Wilson, he won a Super Bowl. He doesn't know how
mm-hmm.
to bring in, he doesn't know how to play football. I know a lot of people don't like Russell Wilson, and I don't get why. But, I mean, he's still a good quarterback. I mean,
Yes,
I get when he was with Seattle, they lost the Super Bowl. And I get when he was in Denver, he looked like he was garbage. But you know what? Nobody's saying it was in Denver.
mm-hmm.
Denver, the coaching was the problem in Denver. That's why they went and paid all that money and gave a draft pickup for the coach. And
Exactly.
then the coach didn't like who he had as a quarterback.
excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? They didn't. The coach didn't want Russell Wilson as a quarterback. So was it planned to fail because the coach said I can't coach him, or I
Well,
think this guy's spoiled? Russell Wilson's still a good quarterback.
he's still a good quarterback. He's not what he was when he was in Seattle, of course. But I also think some of it is Sean Payton, just his way of coaching, his philosophy, and what he's looking to do overall. So, it, I think Russell, he just needs the right coaching, the right system, and you don't want to make him to be the one to win the game. Just let him get it to his playmakers. Put 2 game preseason because a lot of players get hurt. I'm going to say this, man. In terms of the preseason, I'm a strong proponent of 4 games. Strong proponent. One, it builds up a level of continuity. It allows your players to get comfortable with each other. If you're talking about the injury, here's the other thing: you have 90 players, so you want to get a look at everyone. 3 games, 2 games for 90 players. It's going to be hard to really get a good evaluation. Plus, you're going into the start of the season. You want to have You want to have a product that is somewhat watchable. 2 preseason games is going to make it very difficult for teams to really build in their program. So, but that's me. That's how I see it. 4 games in the past. The first game, your main players, maybe they get a couple of series, you take them out. Maybe 1 series, take them out. Or you don't play them at all. The second game, you give them a little bit. The third game is when you really play them. You get them a half, maybe a half and the third quarter, some of the third quarter. And then the fourth game, you're looking for the reserves, everyone else. But that builds up the team and allows you to really build your program up the right way. So, that's just how I see it. So, but the next subject I want to talk about is, did you guys see the Dallas Cowboys and what they're valued at right now?
Yeah.
$10.32 billion.
The Cowgirls.
Yeah, I mean, they were originally. I thought they were like $7 billion, and they jumped another $3 billion in the last year, 2 years tops.
Well, it's because of that stadium, Coach. I mean,
no, I get it. I get that. It's
you're
just
having concerts there. It's so big. I mean, that stadium really put them over top.
But that's crazy. $10.2 billion, and I don't think anyone is close right now in terms of their value
Right.
valuation. So
Yeah, I don't think they have anything to show for it, unfortunately. Um, you know,
yeah, cheerleaders are the
you
best thing.
have,
I agree.
yeah, I don't, here's the thing. If you're worth all that money, you should have some kind of Super Bowl appearance or some kind of Super Bowl thing because they haven't been in the Super Bowl since '95. And here's the thing. You say that they're worth it, but do you prove it? Raising ticket sales and charging astronomical for a hot dog is not worthy. It's not worthy of me saying that you're worth it. What I want to see you do is perform in the field and do everything. Show me something.
I
Show me. It's like St. Louis, the show me state. Show me something. Uh,
here's one thing because you're right in everything you're saying, but here's the other side of that. If the fans are paying it, then
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if people if
Yeah.
people don't go and they don't buy it, then it changes the whole narrative. But look, if you're getting a bad product and you're still paying full, okay, okay. As an owner, now see, I will say this about Mr. Jones. He's a businessman. He's about that
Yep.
paper.
That's right.
He's about that money. I mean,
Right.
even though Damian has a good point, how they have all that money and can't pay their players. Well, guess what? He's a businessman. The fans are paying that money hand over foot. Like halftime said, the use of that stadium. Well, guess what? If nobody goes there, but if people are paying, in one regard, as a businessman, if I'm saying to you, I'm giving you a crappy product, and you still gonna pay me top of the line money, okay, Okay, give me your money. Give me your money. Come on, give me your money.
Right.
So, and that's
Right.
the whole thing. So, you know,
It's almost like that P.T. Barnum thing.
yeah, Colin, a $60 million quarterback is coming anywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
let's
it's
be
coming.
real. Now, Dak is
No,
going to be the first,
they
but he's
say
not
this
going to be
too.
last.
They're saying this. They're saying if Dak Prescott does not sign with the Dallas Cowboys and he go to free agent, he's going to make $70 million.
Mm.
You imagine? So that means the Dallas Cowboys are about to pay this guy $68 million.
Damian, I'm going to say this though. Okay. No player in the NFL is worth that money. I'm even going to say Patrick Mahomes, but because that's the market,
right?
It is what it is.
Right.
That's what it is, guys.
I don't think anybody's worth that much either.
But when you got quarterbacks who are making $55 million, come on, man. Dak Prescott is definitely better than what's his name down in Jacksonville.
But Coach, to be honest with you, if you're the number 2 seed, right, and you lose to the 7th seed, like I get it, it's a team, but when your quarterback cost you the game, how do you make that kind of money?
How do you justify that?
How do you how do you justify, Earl? You're right. How do you justify that he deserves that money when he cost you that game?
Right.
He didn't go a pick 6. He threw like 2 interceptions in that game. I mean, you can say it's a team sport, but the quarterback threw the ball to the other team. There was no team in that.
No, there isn't. It's a bad day in the office, is what we call it.
See, in the end, though, this is the market. That's why I keep saying this is the market.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, go look at the quarterbacks. I mean, look at the money that these quarterbacks are getting, man. You know, because Skelton is right. Why pay a quarterback that doesn't bring? Because that's the market. That's the market.
That's that's the scapegoat. It's the scapegoat for these guys. It's the market.
But that's even the player. That's all players. So, I mean, the money says you first and foremost they're making the money. The owners are making the money, so the players want their piece of the pie. So, you know, and we as fans, because remember, we are contributing to this, ladies and gentlemen. We can sit here and say, well, why pay this player that? Why pay this player, you know, that money? But yet and still, we're paying for the product.
Yeah, when you buy jerseys and you're buying tickets, you're buying Dak's jersey or you're buying a player's jersey and you're buying a lot of this shit. Of them, that's how the money goes up.
It's just
I will say this, Damian, in terms of this, okay? You can't separate the quarterback because he's still part of the team. And this is a business. So that's part of your budget. Because then, you know, what are you going to do? Where's the separate tax? What is it supposed to be? You know, in some teams, is there going to be a minimum and a maximum you're supposed to pay to the quarterback? Where's all this money going to come, extra money going to come from? Because based on what you're saying, there's supposed to be a separate salary, and the owners aren't going to go for that. I'm going to tell you that right now. They want the quarterback salary to be included in the salary cap. So if you're telling me, okay.
You can't do
What's
that.
Up, Gregor?
You're telling me there's going to be a separate salary for a quarterback and a separate salary for wide receivers and a separate salary for tight ends and a separate salary for the offensive lines. Now you got to go left tackle. You got to go right tackle because that's different salary.
Yo, Wesley, I'm with you, bro.
What are we doing here? Like they have a union that it'll never happen.
What's up, Bruce?
What did he say?
Wesley, he said, imagine what the Hardcore Sports Network could do with $70 million.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
just $1 million. I'm retiring.
A brand new studio on 42nd Street.
$10.32 billion, man. So,
Wow.
but that's a lot. So, and last thing on football before we move on, Jamar Chase holding out, missing practice. How big of a concern is it for Cincinnati? Do you think it's a big one, or do you think it's something that you're just working through? All right, Mitch. All right, Mitch. How about yeah? There you go. There you go.
What about Mitch? It's coming to you. The big check tomorrow, Mitch.
Yeah, 69. Yeah, right. But yeah, but with Lamar, with Chase, Jamar, do you think it's something that's something that you're just going to end up working out, or do you think it's something that, you know what, it should be it's going to be cause for concern? So, Mitch.
Well, I think it's going to be a concern because you got to play Joe Burrow. You got to pay Joe Burrow too, right?
Mm-hmm. No, he got paid. He got paid last year.
Oh, he got paid last year?
Yeah, he got paid last year.
The problem is like we talk, Coach. It's where's the value?
Mm-hmm.
How much are you going to pay him? You only have so much money in the salary cap. You know what I mean? So Justin Jefferson just got, he got 32, 35?
Yeah, I think it was 32.
So he got 32. That's what he's going to have to make. He's going to have to make in that area, right?
I think he's going to want more than that. But yeah, he's going to make, right, he want 34.
He's going to want 34, maybe 35. Like you said, the money goes up and up and up.
Exactly.
It's going to be hard for Cincinnati to come up with a price because, first of all, he's going to go, hold on, let me find out what CeeDee Lamb makes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And CeeDee Lamb's playing a game. Hold on, let me see what Chase is going to make. You know what I mean? Because they all want the top dollar.
Right.
Exactly.
This is a game, and it's a dangerous game, I think, for the owner. Like, you need to just get in there, rip the Band-Aid off, and all right, we're going to give you this. You know what I mean? But every player is going to be like, well, I want to see what CeeDee Lamb gets. I want to see what this guy's getting. I want this. And this is the for NFL owners. I mean, you got to really think about it. You're looking at all this money getting tossed around, and you're in the back of your mind, you got to be like, is this guy really worth this? You know, in the back of your mind, you're like, yo, give me all the people that are running my freaking bills here. Because, yo, is he really worth it? Is he making this enough money to actually pay him this? Like, is he selling enough jerseys? Is he selling enough shit to actually be making us this kind of money? Because that's how it is. That's the truth.
I'm not arguing with that thought process.
Someday, CeeDee Lamb's about to make a lot of money. CeeDee Lamb's about to make, what, 33 in that area?
Hopefully he does. But, yeah, you're right. I think he deserves it. But, you know, look, they ain't trying to give him that money.
Last year. He was Dak's go-to guy. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Exactly.
It's a money. Listen, these guys are just. It's the value keeps on going up, and there's no way of it turning down. These guys are going to get paid lots and lots of money.
Facts. Facts. For me, it comes down to when I think about the Jamar Chase situation. It's a contentious situation because, first of all, you T. Higgins, you gave him the franchise tag, so prevailing thought was, well, you gave him that, then that means Chase was going to get the money. but now
Yeah.
you're not giving him the money. So what the hell are you doing, Cincinnati? What the hell is going on? So it's strange in my opinion. What's up, Lou? Thanks for tapping in, man. Um, it's strange when you sit down and you think about that, So uh, halftime Blaze sound you send you a photo of us. I have a big head, but I'm just the same height. Okay. What's up, Nimar? Um, I couldn't really hear Nimar because I'm streaming right here, so I couldn't hear what he said. So um, it's never going to end with the Cowboys. So again, I couldn't hear. They played horribly. I mean, from what I was looking at, whenever trying to keep an eye on it, yeah, they didn't play well. So, but as far as Chase, it could become a very problematic situation if they don't get that taken care of, and it could derail their whole season. So but that's what I was thinking. So, but now we're just going to move on to the last subject of the night, and that is going to be baseball. Baseball. We're going to talk about halftime's favorites, one of his favorite subjects. So, in terms of baseball, right now, in terms of the standings, I'm going to give you in each league the top. Top 8 or top 10? I'll do top 10. All right. You have now, because the Yankees just lost today. They lost to the White Sox. Go figure. Yeah, they lost 4-0. I'm sorry, no, they're not the Tigers. They lost to the Tigers 4-0.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, so the Guardians are on top at 72-51, but again, I think they played today. The Yankees are at 73-51. The Orioles are at 72-51. Minnesota Twins are at 69-53. The Royals are at 67-55. Houston Astros are at 65-56. The Red Sox are at 64-57. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the Seattle Mariners are at 63-61. When I take a look at the wild card in the American League, where is it? They didn't break it down. I have to look at it this way. All right. You have the Guardians, the Yankees, and the Astros are the division winners. And then the Orioles, the Twins, bless you, and the Royals are in the wild card with the Red Sox 2.5 out, and the Mariners are about 5 out. Now, when I go to the National League, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. You have the Phillies at 72-50. The Dodgers are at 72-51. The Brewers are at 70-52. The Diamondbacks are 6, and the Padres are 69-54. The Braves are 64-58. The Mets are at 63-59, and the San Francisco Giants are at 62-62. And when I look at the wild card for the National League, Phillies, Dodgers, and Brewers are the division leaders. Diamondbacks, Padres, and Braves are in, with the Mets a game back and the Giants 3 games back. So that's how the standings lie right now. In terms of the playoffs, I'm going to start with the National League because you guys are both National League fans, with the Mets and the Phillies. What's your thoughts right now in terms of the way that these teams are playing with the playoffs and the wild card coming up? How do you feel about your respective teams in the terms of their position for the playoffs? Earl, I'll start with you with the Mets.
Well, first of all, I almost fell off my chair when I found out that they were even in the wild card, because usually the Mets are nowhere near an eyelash of any kind of playoff spot. Usually at this time we were talking about elimination. The Mets right now are in a position, in a in a great position to do something they haven't done in a ton of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that is finally going into a wild card spot. Um, if I think that they're going to hold on to that spot, I don't know. I'm gonna be a little cautious on that. I'm gonna have to sit on the fence with that because usually when the Mets get something good, they don't know how to hold on to it and ride the wave. And that is the major problem. That is the major problem. And it's like every season is a losing season for the Mets, and
Mm-hmm.
it becomes tiresome after a while. It becomes very exhausting to even keep saying, "Oh well, we're going to do it next year. Oh, we're going to do it next year. We're going to do it next year. We're going to do it next year." Well, next year is here. Next year is now, and let's see
Mm-hmm.
what you could produce. Let's see what you could produce here. So I think if the Mets keep winning and not keep losing series and do dig their heels in and try to hold on and try to bump somebody out of that wild card spot and stay there, they could have a potential. But again, I'm on the fence.
I mean, right now their next games, and this weekend they're hosting the Marlins, and then they have a 3-game Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday hosting the Orioles. So those are their next 4 games right now. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough where they are, but I mean, at least they're a game out of the wild card. Of course, halftime with your Phillies. Go ahead.
Well, the Phillies have been on they got a 3-game winning streak. But
Mm-hmm.
like all the Philly fans are like, "Oh yeah, we're back." Pump your brakes. You played the Nationals. It's not that big of a deal that you played the Nationals. Nationals are really
Mm-hmm.
not that good. You got to give it a week to find out if the Phillies are back with the hitting and all. So, I mean, we're still up there with, the Yankees and Baltimore. We're still up there, but
Mm-hmm.
we need the winning streak and we need to build some wins up. So, yes, we're going to be in the playoffs. It's our manager. I mean, our manager gets you sometimes to scratch your head. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's he thinking? What's he doing? How does he not know to pull this pitcher? How's a fan yelling, pull the pitcher, or go out there and talk to the pitcher, and you're not doing it? And he don't understand that. It's sometimes it's mind boggling. So I do think like I always said, I think it's gonna be the Phillies and the Yankees in the World Series. I still think that. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rob gets you to scratch your head over here. We're just sitting there like, what's happened to this team? So let's see what happens. But now the
Scout
Phillies are
says
still there.
the fans are the real coaches. All right.
Mm.
As far as the Yankees, all right. I've complained about the Yankees. Anyone knows me knows I'm not big on the analytics, but the way they played this year, even most recently, there are many Yankees fans um, who are disappointed with the Yankees. But when you sit back and you look, um, they're fighting for the top spot in all of baseball.
Yes.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, it's crazy when I sit back and when I pull up the overall record. The Guardians and the Phillies are at number one. The Yankees are at number and tie for, or they're number three, depending on what happens with the Dodgers and the Baltimore Orioles tonight. But the
Right.
Yankees are right there.
Yep.
They have one of the best records in baseball, and that's the thing. Now, as Yankee fans, we're spoiled. I admit it, we're spoiled. We
Yep.
expect dominance. We expect consistent, continuous championships. from the Yankees. And for this team, where we've had so many issues, we've had issues with pitching. You're losing players. Your top two hitters outside of Judge and Soto, you really, and now Jazz is got traded to us. He showed a little something, but now he's out with an injury. But you sit back and you look at this team and you're like, wait a minute, we're one of the best teams in baseball.
Right.
If we could really get some things settled in, how much better could we get? And that's the thing. And it for me, it makes me say, Ed, step back, and let's let this thing play out. We haven't had Garrett Cole the whole season. That's your top. That's your ace. He's now starting to get into the swing of things. But think about if he was here during the beginning of the season, how much better this team. And don't forget, this team started fast. They started fast. Did they come back to the pack? Yes. But they started fast, and they were so far ahead. So, yes, I understand Yankees' concerns. We have questions in terms of the managerial strategies at times. In terms of Boone, some of the performances with some of the guys. But when you sit back and you really think about it and you look at it, this team is one of the best teams in baseball. And if they can get their act together, yes, halftime is right. It could come down to Philly and New York for the World Series. And I'll take that. I want that in a heartbeat as a Yankees fan, and then I'd root for the Phillies as a secondary team. Question for you from Anthony. He said, you don't trust the Dodgers?
Anthony, the Dodgers are always that guy that spends all the money, and then they don't show up. The money that the Dodgers spent this year, if they don't make the playoffs, just say if they don't make the playoffs, and they spend all that money on that team, it's a bust. They need to blow the team up. Am I right? I mean, you went and spent all this money, and if you don't make the playoffs, or if you're one and done, even if the Dodgers are one and done, you spent too much money to have a one and done team in the playoffs, even if you're in the playoffs. But I don't think I think the Dodgers are not that good of an organization, but I think they overpay for everything, and it is just the way the Dodgers are. That's how they are. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers don't even make the playoffs.
Wow, that's a big take for them to go from leading their division, number 2 in the National League, and not to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be.
I've seen that. I've seen that happen to. I've seen that happen to teams before, where they would be right there, and then they do an epic collapse, and then that's it for them. That's it. But I want to ask a question. If the Yankees, let's just put this out there in the universe, if the Yankees don't make the playoffs, and let's say that they are eliminated from postseason contention, is this the time to get rid of Aaron Boone?
Probably. If they were to crash and burn and not make the playoffs, I can't see Boone's lasting. No. I can't personally. I really can't. Because that's going to be an epic failure right then and there. You're going from one of the top teams in baseball to not making the playoffs. Yeah, you got to go. You have to go.
You're talking about the Yankees, and the Yankees are up there for the most being the best team in baseball right now. If they have that big of a drop, yes, you have to get rid of them.
Even though it won't happen, I'm even going to go as far as Cashman needs to go. I know it's not going to happen.
No.
I get it, but he needs to go. He would need to go too if the Yankees failed like that too.
Yes, if they drop that bad, yes. If the Yankees became one and done, yes, they would have to get rid of everybody.
Okay.
So this kind of let me get my next question, and we'll answer that in a second, Anthony. In terms of, because we're talking about the wild card, one of the better teams in baseball for the past few years has been the Atlanta Braves. Do you think they have a chance of missing the playoffs?
Oh yeah, they're hurt.
Yep.
So yes, I think the Mets will pass them.
Yep.
Nationals, I don't see the Nationals passing them, but there's going to be other teams that are going to be better, have better wins.
Behind, just for context, the Mets are a game behind the Braves. The Giants are 3 games back. The Reds are 4 games back.
Yep.
The Cardinals are 4 games back. The Cubs are 4.5 back. I'm just going to give you that.
So I'll say the Giants will be above the Braves. I think the Braves, they're hurt really bad, and I think they're going to drop. You got to figure they're getting ready. I think they have to play the Phillies this week.
Who, the Braves?
I think the Braves are playing the Phillies, and the Dodgers are playing the Phillies this week. I think, is that what it is?
The Braves are playing the Angels today and tomorrow. Then they play the Phillies 3 games. Then they play the Nationals.
Yeah, so this is good. This is going to be their downfall. I mean, the only thing that I think out of them wins, I think it's going to be the Braves will win against the Nationals, but they're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to lose against the Angels and the Phillies. So in that area, I think it's going to be a mudslide for them.
Now you said you think the Giants are going to make it over the Braves, so then you think they're going to make it over the Mets too?
Yeah, I think the Mets are going to probably be a wild card.
No, what I'm saying is because right now it's the Diamondbacks, Padres, and the Braves that are in the wild card. The Mets are a game back of the Braves. The Giants are 3 games back of the Braves.
Yeah, it's going to be I think the Giants are probably. I'm hoping the Giants beat the Mets before that.
So that's why I'm asking you. You're saying the Giants are going to pass the Mets and the Braves for the wild card?
Yes.
Okay.
I got the Giants. I got the Giants going to have a winning streak. I got the Mets did outstanding at the end of the trade deadline. That's why they've been so good lately.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give it up to them. They made outstanding trades. That's why they got past the Braves. They're gonna like. I know what the Braves are above them by 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but the Braves are about to fall down. Everybody has to understand the Braves are about to go on maybe a 6-game losing streak.
Mm.
Maybe it's a 6-game losing streak, or it's going to be a 5-game losing streak, something in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to hurt them bad.
That's deep. A 5 or 6-game losing streak?
Yeah. And this week, if the Phillies are back, this is what should happen.
Okay, that's interesting. You want to pay attention to that, bro. Definitely going to be paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, next question. As a Yankees fan, I have to ask this. Will Aaron Judge hit 60 or more home runs this year?
Yes.
Where's he at now? 49?
I think he's at 49. Stats. Batting average, home runs, 44.
44.
Mm-hmm.
And you're asking at 60?
60 or more. So right now to get to 60, he needs 16 more. Yes, Gregor. Yes, for me it has.
I think he'll be right at the
Good
60.
job.
I think he'd be like 59, 60 mark.
Okay.
But then again, dude is outstanding with the home runs.
Mm-hmm.
He's a monster.
He just could sit there and he might pop 2 home runs in one game.
Hell, he popped 3 at one game.
Yeah, he might get all 3. I mean, like he can, but also what he does is he actually plays the game the right way. Judge don't always try to hit home runs. He don't just always hit home runs. If he needs a blooper in the outfield, he's going to say, all right, guys, we win the game. I'm going to put it right in the outfield and call it a day.
Okay. Arku says he's going to come up short with home runs. I'm making a shock. I think Andrew will break Barry on 73 home runs.
No.
Okay.
No, he's not breaking that record.
I mean, you're talking about another 29 home runs to close out the season.
Yes,
Anthony.
he's not doing
I'll be
Think
back.
about that. All right, Earl. All right, we'll be here. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. That's really a lot. Do you think Judge is going to get the MVP in the American League? I mean, it's kind of, who else is playing better than him in the American League?
I don't think nobody is the way he's hitting home runs.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone.
What's that dude's name? Ohtani?
Ohtani is with the Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. He went with the Dodgers. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's playing better than him? Nobody.
In the
American League, yeah, you got a point.
Bobby Witt is in the conversation. Let me take a look at the stats. I mean, Bobby Witt is hitting 350. Oh gosh, you just closed it out on me. Thank you. He's hitting 352 as a batting average, but Aaron Judge is at 333. Aaron Judge has 44 home runs. Let me see. Let me look at his stats. Bobby Witt. Was it 352, 25 home runs, 90 RBIs, a 1.021 OPS, 25 stolen bases. I mean, those are some good numbers.
Yeah.
It's definitely some good. Aaron Judge is 333, 44 home runs, 111 RBIs, 1.175 OPS, 6 stolen bases. I mean, right now it has to be Aaron Judge.
Yeah, but there's a lot more baseball.
No, I know that.
Yeah, but I'm like, when we're talking like this, it's like baseball's over. There's a lot more games. But right now, you got to give it to Judge.
Yeah, no, we know he has great abilities. I mean, he can get multiple home run games, throughout the course of the season. So, yeah, I mean, I understand, what the question is he the MVP in the American League? I mean, I'd have to, yeah, to me, yes. And yes, I'm being biased, but I'd have to say yes. So, where do you think he ranks as a baseball player in all of baseball? A baseball hitter in all of baseball?
Who, Judge?
Yeah. Earl had, he just closed his camera, Mitch. That's all my what you call is there. You know how it goes.
And Judge is one of the. You gotta give Judge be one of the good ones. He's up there.
So who do you think would be better than him as a baseball hitter? Who do you think ranks over him? Is it Ohtani?
I don't think Otani's better than Judge.
As a baseball hitter?
At a baseball hitter, I think still Judge is better. And the reason why is also he's a placement hitter. To me.
Good point.
See, everybody just looks at home run. I think this is a new day and age. This is a new day and age for me. Because I look at Judge, he's a placement hitter too. Where you tell him, hey, I need this ball, right field, baseline, and like make it hit the wall or something for the foul. But it's not a foul ball. It's just a double. He can get you that. What do you want? You want me to give you a double? You want me to give you a triple? You want a home run? He can place the ball wherever you want him to place it. He's a placement hitter. Ohtani's not. I don't feel. I feel Ohtani, yes, he's a good hitter. He can hit the home runs. Yes, he's a good hitter. Not knocking him. Judge is a different player. He's a placement hitter. If you need him to place the ball in a certain area, and you can take your little red marker, and this is where I want the ball, that's where he can put it. And that's hard to do with a ball coming at you at 100 miles an hour, and you got this little ass back. So, you know, there's certain things.
What's up, Blaze?
What's up, Blaze?
Well, Anthony has a great question. Is he going to be the Triple Crown winner in the American League?
That is a good question. I don't know that one. They probably will, though. He might, Anthony. He might. To me, he might. He's really good.
For those who don't understand baseball, what is considered a Triple Crown winner?
Like his Gold Glove and, you know, his batting and all that, everything. He's just way better than everybody. He got it all. He got all the works going on.
Okay. Who do you think will win the Cy Young in each league?
I don't know that. I don't know that one, Coach. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. No, that's fine. I mean, that's pretty much close. Yeah, that was the last thing because we did touch on the MVP a little bit already. That was later, but hitting award. Yeah, so Triple Crown. So, I mean, Anthony basically hit a lot of my questions to close it out. So, Triple Crown, he said, was home run, RBI, and batting average.
Batting average, right.
I thought it was a glove, too. Maybe it's batting average.
Okay. Thank you, Blaze.
I thought it had to do with his Gold Glove, too.
That was that horse riding article. That's a good one, man. So, but yeah, this has been a phenomenal show today. I mean, you guys have been great. Is George going to hit 7 home runs in his career? Ooh,
that's a good question.
Ooh. I don't even know where he is. No, he just hit 300. I think he just hit 300. They said he's the fastest at 300. So, ooh. I just found it in my head. Yankees, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Aaron Judge, in the outfield, Garrett, Dieter DJ, Babe Ruth. Okay. I mean, Anthony, that's a great lineup. But who's your second baseman?
Yeah.
Right.
Gold Glove is fielding. Triple Crown is batting stats. Okay.
All right.
Well, we're going to start wrapping this up now, guys. So, Earl, what do you got going on for the rest of the week?
Well, that's a great question. I'm going to I have the Raw watch along on Monday night. We're going to be doing the Raw watch along on Monday night. We're going to be doing that. I'm going to be back with the Raw watch along, and then I'll be
Mm-hmm.
doing AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. And then I
Mm-hmm.
got the wrestling experience on Thursday, and then I've got SmackDown on Friday. So that's going to be my week.
Hardworking man, a busy man as always.
It just never stops. Never stops.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, okay. Blaze said he thought you left, so
I'm back, Blaze. I'm black. I'm back.
okay.
What's that all about, Earl?
I don't. I took a little break. I took a little break. I was off for the week, and now I'm back. And I'm back. I'm back. Yes.
Back
What's
better
that?
than ever.
You left YouTube. Are
It's,
you quitting YouTube?
no, no. I've been with YouTube for 11 years now. There is no way. There's no way. And the way everything is, and I'm like, I believe I'm like 26 subs away from 500. So
Mm, let's go. Let's go.
I'm, I'm getting there.
Don Mattingly is a first baseman. Don Mattingly is a first baseman. He's not a third baseman. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Greg or John.
Yeah, Don Mattingly is my favorite Yankee. He's
Yeah.
a first baseman. Don't go there with that one. So, but no, I get you. I mean, I understand. This was a mix up. So, what do you
Yeah.
got going on halftime for the rest of the week?
I'm gonna watch a little bit of Phillies. Like I always have Monday when I have during the week, I got work, so it's kind of hard to find out
Mm-hmm.
what games I can stream or not. I will
Mm-hmm.
be streaming the last game of the Eagles preseason game.
What day is that?
I think it's Thursday. I'm not sure though.
Hold on, let me take a look now.
I think it's Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, let's find out. NFL preseason
It's
3.
a Saturday.
What time? It's a 1 o'clock game, so I guess we won't be having the what you call next week.
Yeah. Oh, we'll try to. Maybe we can do it both. Watch the game and stream.
Now, if you want to stream it, I mean that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I was watching the Giants here, so
Well, I think
I
it's going to be. I think they're going to use their starter finally. So I'm
no,
going
I
to really.
understand. You want to see that, and you want to see
Right.
what they're doing. So halftime is going to cheer Paul Logan.
Blaze, yo, I got Earl to say he sucked. Already. Let y'all know.
Yes.
Earl says Logan Paul sucked.
Yes, I did say that during the stream. Yes, I did. Just to make halftime smile.
Earl said Logan Paul sucks.
Oh, halftime, I'll tell you something, halftime.
Earl, you have a question from Wesley. I have a question. Are you going to AEW Grand Slam?
The answer is no. But I will be streaming the show.
Watch videos on some the halftime's Discord. Okay. Mrs. Halftime posted some Logan Paul situation on halftime's Discord. Okay. All right. Mitch likes Orange Cassidy. Just mentioned Will Ferrell and halftime will be pissed. Okay.
He's horrible as a freaking actor. What do you want from me?
All right. And as for me, let me see. Yeah, I'm not doing anything else today. I don't believe I have anything today. And tomorrow we'll be doing Giants Conversation with NYG 22. Monday I'll be doing the read and attack show 7 o'clock on Monday. Tuesday, I'll be doing the Heart of the City with NYG. Wednesday, Pick and Roll podcast, along with at 5 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock, I'll be doing it for the R, which is my Rutgers sport event information. Thursday, we'll be bringing back the full court press, and talking about the WNBA. Next Friday will be the Read and Attack here on the Hardcore Sports Network. Next Friday at 6 o'clock. And then the Black Top podcast with NYG around 8 o'clock. And then, of course, next Saturday, another halftime coach and adjustment show. So, that's what I got going on this week. So,
wow, you talk about me being busy, Coach. You have your hands in a lot of cook pots.
yeah, I'm trying to continue to grow myself. So, that's pretty much what it's about with me. So,
Wow.
I'm watching the Liberty right now. So sorry, that's why I'm so wrapped up right now. So, but that's pretty much it. I mean, I might do something here or there. I don't know, but yeah, that's it for me for the week. So, but again, thanks to everyone for being here. You guys have been phenomenal. It's been so many of you. Don't want to go through and possibly miss anyone. So, but you guys, thank you again. You can always come back and watch you can rebroadcast this, watch it again, get anything in particular. We appreciate you guys. So, Greg, he says, what's your favorite NFL team?
Well, I follow both the Giants and the Jets, Gregor Johns.
Mm-hmm.
So
New York based.
Gregor Johns.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're about ready to get out of here. Thanks a lot, everyone. We really appreciate you. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, though. Halftime will be streaming the Eagles game next Saturday. So tap into him. Maybe, if the Giants are, I don't know. We'll see what I'm doing next Saturday. So, but that's pretty much it. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. And with that being said, we're out of here. Peace.
Good night.